But I did say it yesterday and it didn't really rain, so...
You gents just have been chatting to your microphones for another and we'll check those.
Yep. Hello, good morning everybody. Good morning, Harrison. Just checking on the sound here.
Yeah.
You good?
You guys have breakfast and second.
Well, hello, good morning, and welcome to a bright and blustery Grainville for the first game in the finals day for Division 1. We've had some overnight rain, but it's all clear at the moment. In fact, it looks an absolute picture. And the news from the toss is that Chirpies have won the toss and have decided to take the field. Harrison, any thoughts on... I've got Harrison Carlyon with me, well-known cricketer, star of our recent Jersey efforts in the European qualifier. Harrison, any thoughts on the conditions and the teams today that you've seen so far?
Yeah, I think if we look back to yesterday, the wicket was flat. The boundary ropes are small, so I expect to see a pretty high-scoring match here. Going out to opening the batting now, Ben Heelis, who obviously has been through someone's first team as well, up-and-coming young cricketer involved in the Jersey Under-19 setup, and then Charlie Lekelenek as well, who has played a lot of twos cricket for St Ones and probably won't look to hang around here, from what I know of him.
Ben Heelis, quite an exciting young talent from what I've seen this year. Lovely, sort of classical, fluent left-handed batsman who takes the ball on and quite aggressive hitting, but lovely to watch. Charlie, we've seen lots of him over the years. Wholehearted cricketer. Once upon a time, played with me in the OV's team. Has moved across to St Ones, full of enthusiasm and also a very clean striker of the ball on his day. And as you say, with these boundaries pulled in, the overnight rain may have slowed things up a little bit, I guess. But we'd be sort of anticipating, some decent scores. And if we can replicate some of the excitement of yesterday's games, we'll be more than happy. And let's hope the rain stays off.
This looks like Tom Kearns to open the bowling here, so bit of pace on the ball, short run up, quick arm, a lot of shoulder in this action, but should be plenty of pace on the ball to work with from a batting point of view, which I think Benny will enjoy from what I know of him.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see the match-up here. Tom Kearns sporting an electric pair of cricket shoes. Well, we're not going to mistake him, Harrison, today. No. So he's going to come steaming in from the Bowls Club end to Ben Heelis, who's going to take the first delivery. Slight confusion with the umpires as to who's scoring, but we've now confirmed that good old Jack Kemp, who had a good day out yesterday for Farmers, and doesn't seem too dusty after celebrating a very good win. So he's on the scorecard. Umpires are ready, and Tom Kearns come in for the first delivery.
Good pace.
Good pace, just down the leg side. Nice to see James Cornt in action behind the stumps. Fine cricketer in his day, Jersey international player. Chirpies are off the mark with, I think, a leg bye, and there comes the signal. Yeah, leg bye to Heelis. That brings big Charlie Lekelenek on strike.
Yeah, I think this will be an interesting matchup for Charlie. I think if he gets a bit of width, that's probably what he wants here. If I was Tom, I'd be looking to sort of hit the stumps and tuck him up a bit.
Yeah, Charlie, my recollection of him always looks good when he's got a little bit of room to play, particularly outside the off stump. There we go. Case in point, makes a tiny bit of room and clips it away nicely through third, and that's the first boundary of the day. 4 runs to Charlie Lekelenek.
Yeah, nice shot there. Exactly what he would have been looking for in terms of delivery to get him started there. That's how he likes to play, with pace on the ball. He likes to use pace.
Let's look forward to Charlie scoring a run on the onside, shall we, Harrison? We'll try and predict when that might happen. In the meantime, I'd be very tempted to move my deep fielder on the offside back to third man, which is exactly what Chirpies have just done. So, a bit of aggression from Tom Kearns. He didn't like that boundary from Charlie Lekelenek. It's given him something to sniff the leather with.
Yeah, fairly predictable response there, I think, from an angry fast bowler. It's well bowled Yorker as well, well executed. Good comeback there from Tom Kearns.
There we are. My theory's gone out the window. Charlie has knocked one onto the onside, but didn't manage to score a run. Full delivery from Tom Kearns. Not a bad first over. Honours even. Perhaps Chirpy's slightly happier. Just 5 runs from it. I would imagine, looking at yesterday's scores, difficult to make a prediction at this stage, Harrison, but what do you think for target total that Chirpies someone's might be looking for?
Yeah, I think you've got to be looking upwards of, at least upwards of sort of 150, 160 sort of region as being par. As I say, the ropes are right in, but a bit of a difference to yesterday is a real strong wind coming across the ground, so one of the boundaries it's obviously small, but be a slightly bigger hit today into the wind, whereas yesterday there wasn't much wind at all, so that might increase scoring from one end though, so it might even out.
Now this is young Luke Bosio, unless I'm much mistaken.
Correct.
Coming in from the pavilion end, left arm over.
Lovely bowler, Luke Bosio. Got so much control, and he's sort of mature beyond his years. He's played a lot of ones cricket for SOS this season, and he plays his Division 1-2 stuff at Chirpies. But I mean, I'm fairly sure he was the leading wicket taker in the Premier T20 this year, so which is a phenomenal effort at the age of 15.
Well, it's great to see this sort of conveyor belt of youngsters continues to come through. There's some exciting talent. I'm looking forward to watching a bit more of Ben Healis, but it's Charlie Lekelinek on strike now to Luke Bosio. And that is going to be the first wicket of the day. Bosio's pulled that one down slightly short. Charlie, as we might have predicted, has tried to pull the ball around onto the leg side, but gets a little bit of a top edge, doesn't really make full contact, and it's a fairly comfortable catch at square leg, and Charlie reluctantly departs the scene. That's the first wicket for Chirpies. St Juan's 6 for 1 in the second over. Yeah,
I think Charlie's job there was to go out there and sort of almost be a bit of a pinch here, a bit of a sort of free hit for St Juan's. So I mean, they've lost his wicket, but it's not the end of the world. He was sort of up there to take the game on and sort of enjoy batting in the power play. So brings Robbie Forrest to the crease though, who has been in fantastic form this year, and I think someone that St Juan's would sort of hopefully hang their hat on here to make a few runs.
Yeah, Robbie Forrest, a fine young cricketer, and well, he's fairly experienced now, I suppose. I mean, I remember him coming up through the ranks as a real keen young lad, but in recent years he's matured. He's still got that sort of boyish enthusiasm for the game, which is always good to see. He's a fine young man, and it'll be interesting to see how he shapes up. But well done, Luke Bosio, as Harrison mentioned there. Good young cricketer, and he's already notched into the wickets column. Yeah,
I think strike bowler here, Luke Bosio. Really, if you look at it, if you're St Juan's, you think if you can take his 4 overs for 25, you're probably pretty happy, and lose no more than 1 wicket. I think that's what they'd be thinking. Or bowled.
That's good. That's a great delivery. Spot on there. First ball up for Robbie Forrest. Nothing for him to do there.
He's got plenty of control, Luke Bosio. You see here, like, he's always in and around the top of the stumps, and that's what makes him so effective. Nice changes of pace as well. He's got a lovely slower ball.
Where did he learn his cricket, Harrison? Do you know where he's...
So he's been through Chirpies as a junior, and sort of that's where he's done a lot of his learning. But I know for a fact... So it's a nice shot from Robbie. I know for a fact that I've been up to Kennervay plenty of times, and I've seen him in the nets bowling for hours on end, just on his own with a little bag of cricket balls. So he sort of honed his craft, and he's always worked very hard. So I mean, it's good to see. It's what you want to see, especially for me, from a coaching point of view as well. Yeah.
Well, Robbie Forrest has managed to angle that one away, and good running between the wickets, picks up 2. Might not have happened if Charlie was still batting, but these 2 youngsters are probably going to run pretty well, and that's another fine shot off his hip.
Yeah, it's a nice shot
from Robbie Forrest, and he picks up his first boundary. And
just straying a little bit leg side there, Luke Bosio, but he'll be disappointed with himself there, as I think you could see.
Yeah, that breeze is going to be quite difficult to contend with, I guess, as from the bowling perspective, and also, as you mentioned before, it's definitely going to favour the car park stroke, the big bank side of the ground for hitting boundaries. So Luke Bosio will need to make a slight adjustment there, but Robbie Forrest played that very nicely. Ooh.
He's given
And
himself
that
bit
is a
of
good
room.
ball. He did make that adjustment, and he got the ball outside off stump, and Robbie just sort of waved his wand at it. And if there had been a second slip, which you don't tend to get in T20 cricket, to be fair, that might have been a fairly straightforward catch. But it goes down to third for second boundary in the over, and St One's move on to 16 for 1 off 2.
I think I'll be interested to see there if he gave himself a bit of room. That's something Robbie usually likes to do. He likes to hit the ball up and over cover. He's obviously a good hockey player, and you can see that he's got good hands and has had plenty of success hitting the ball over cover, which is always very nice to watch as well.
There's a bit of a hockey influence out there, really, with Ben Healis, who comes from very much a hockey family, and you'll see, I'm sure, that sort of wristiness from him. Robbie Forrest also, as Harrison points out there, has that hockey background. It's Tom Kearns coming in. Oh, and what a delivery that is! That's a great sight for Tom Kearns. He's cleaned up Ben Healis there with a good Yorker, and middle stump is out of the ground. That's a great sight for a quick bowler. Tom Kearns will enjoy that.
Yeah, that's as you said, it's always a nice sight for a fast bowler. Stumps out the ground. Looked a nice delivery. Potentially a bit of shape back into Benny, maybe. Beat him on the inside edge from what I could see, but yeah.
At Division 1 level, I think you'd put Tom Kearns in as one of the quicker bowlers you're likely to come across. Certainly the quickest in this Chirpies attack. And he's done what he's been asked of him there.
Yeah, I can see, just looking around towards the St One's tent, I think it will be very interesting to see when St One's sort of drop the star of the show from yesterday, Adam Haywood, into the game. I would imagine it would probably be once sort of Kearns and Bozzy are out the attack, and he would look to take control from there. But that'll be an interesting play to this game after batting so wonderfully yesterday.
What an innings that was from Adam Haywood, the haymaker, as I heard him called yesterday. Absolutely incredible striking. And somewhat surprising for some of us. I'm sure it didn't surprise him. He certainly seemed to be revelling in his performance after the game yesterday. Come back to that in a moment. The new man in, Toby Thurkettle, and that's a good delivery from Tom Kearns. A bit of away movement there, Harrison.
Yeah, they look like it's shaped away there. This is nice bowling from Tom here. Just got to get through a little bit of a tough period here. The ball's doing a bit.
Again, that's a little bit of a throw the bat at it from Toby Thurkettle there. No contact made.
He's just a little bit far away from the ball at the moment, Toby. Maybe if he could get himself across to off stump, that might help him, potentially.
Are we on the same track as yesterday?
We are, yep, we are. A good wicket, a nice wicket.
Yeah, I have to say I was massively impressed yesterday at the standard of the facilities on offer and the work that Dan Birrell and his team here have done. I mean, this wicket to me reminded me of the wicket that I used to play on here in the 80s and 90s, when it really was just a fantastic cricket surface. It was almost back to those days, so well done to Dan Birrell. There's a leg by there, and Toby Thurkettle gets off strike, bringing Robbie Forrest back on strike.
This is a big matchup in terms of the game here. Nice, as well played. I think Robbie here will be sensible and look to bat out the innings. He'll always be positive, Robbie, but I think he's thinking if he's there at the end here, someone's going to should put on a fairly sizable total.
I think from someone's perspective that you'd be looking to see off these opening two bowlers, because and that is a pretty good shorter ball in at the body from Tom Kearns, and Toby Thurkettle's felt that one.
I think that might have got him where you don't want to get hit.
Well, he's up and about and moving. Umpires are inquiring about his health. Nobody's going too close, which might give you an indication of where he got hit. Anyway, it's all smiles, as it tends to be, unless you're the one that's got hit there. That's the end of the third over. St One's move on to 18 for 2. And what I was going to say there, Harrison, is that I think, well, it's Luke Bosio is staying on here, which doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
But if I was one of the St One's batsmen at this stage of the game, I'd be thinking, well, let's just get through that. Let's not worry too much about the power play and being overly aggressive. Let's see these 2 off, however many overs they're going to bowl. It'll be interesting to see if Kearns keeps 2 up his sleeve for later on, or whether, having had a pretty good start, they might try and just bowl him through. But if you're St One's here, I would suggest you'd be thinking, let's just see these guys off, and there might be some slightly easier runs to come later in the innings.
Yeah, correct. I think that's definitely the way to go here. And as Luke Bosio comes in, well bowled, slow ball, quick single taken. Yeah, I think if I was the Chirpies skipper here, I would be tempted to keep a couple of Tom Kearns overs for when Adam Haywood is out at the crease. But we will see if they do that.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting one. And it was a bit of a sort of theory going on yesterday that Adam Haywood wasn't so keen on the quicker short ball. But having said that, he did a fantastic job. Incredible innings. One of the most incredible innings I've seen in local cricket. It really was a wonderful performance. So he'll have different challenges today. Red ball, white clothing. Obviously Division 1 cricket, not Premiership cricket, so I'm sure he'll be full of confidence, that's for certain. When's he going to get his chance? But in the meantime, a bit of rebuilding going on by these 2 hockey stroke cricket players, and Robbie Forrest replicates his shot the last over, where he gets a little bit of a thick edge through a sort of vacant second and third slip area, but it picks up 4 for it.
Yeah, I feel like he sort of almost half played that. They'll slightly come off the edge, but I think he is looking, with the angle here from Luke Bosio, he is looking to find that vacant third man area for sure. If I was Chirpies here, I would think about bringing my fine leg up and maybe dropping my third man, but depends what Luke wants to do. He's coming around the wicket now, so maybe not. That's nice hands again. Yeah, so that's clever from Luke, from such a young bowler. He's decided to change the angle, come round the wicket and sort of take that option away from Robbie, try and tuck him up.
Yeah, agreed. Good idea. It is a bit of a challenge bowling with this pretty stiff westerly breeze, so Luke's maybe cut that slightly out of the equation by coming round the wicket. Just the danger here, of course, of straying onto leg stump, that's the only thing. But he avoids that.
Shot.
It's a good ball, but it's a good shot
a
down the
shot.
ground.
Chasing it.
Toby Thurkettle.
Neil Davies is chasing it. Stopped it beautifully with his foot. Lovely touch.
Bit of commitment there in the deep.
Yeah, Neil Davies is this sort of cult hero of the ECN T10 that was held here at the start of the year. Made a few headlines, took quite a few wickets, and sort of.
Oh yes, I'll be looking forward to watching him bowl. That'll be entertaining.
Yeah, that's well bowled, pace
well
off.
Well bowled again, Luke Bosio.
Yeah, that's well bowled, taking the pace off there. Clever bowler, really clever bowler.
So through 4 overs, 27 for 2, St One's. Probably Chirpies slightly happier at this stage, but as we've mentioned on commentary, possibly St One's thinking, let's just see off these opening 2 bowlers. Now, is there going to be a bowling change? It looks like it. The electric orange shoes of Tom Kearns. No, he's handing his cap back to the umpire, so he is going to bowl a 3rd over. So he'll only have 1 up his sleeve for later in the innings. I would imagine that might be saved till the 19th or 20th, all things being equal.
I think, this is interesting. It looks like they're going to go for the kill early on here and try and pick up another wicket. Stats say that if you lose 3 in the power play, you are generally in trouble, but I mean, St One's yesterday showing that it's not always the case, and stats aren't always correct.
Oh, that's a good delivery from Kearns. That's followed Toby Thurkettle, who still managed to miss it on the off stump, but it went through to James Corn, not far off stumps or outside edge.
Yeah, just slightly half-hearted shot there.
But with Chirpies putting their eggs into this basket, they really are going to want to pick up another wicket this over. in spite of that,
yeah, he's taken them on.
has used his feet beautifully and hit that where there is always a gap, straight back past the bowler. That's a good shot, very good shot indeed. 4 runs straight down the ground.
Yeah, nice shot there, I think. Looks like, yeah, Robbie taking on Tom Kearns there. Maybe something that I maybe wouldn't have expected this over, but I like it. I like the aggressive brand of cricket that he's looking to play here.
Oh, and that's a great response from Kearns, who really has beaten Robbie Forrest properly outside the off stump there. Good carry again on this super Grainville surface. James Cauntle enjoying that.
Yeah, bit of width. Goes down to Neil Davies at third man, and he's, yeah, it's well run. It's taken on the arm.
Great running by Robbie Forrest. He knew immediately hit that if there was the slightest fumble down at third, which there was, he was definitely going to come back for the second. And if you run with that sort of commitment, the chances are you are going to make it. So well played, Robbie Forrest.
Yeah, he's very quick, Robbie, between the wickets. So backing himself to get back there, which is always nice to see.
Wasn't far off dropping agonisingly onto an off bail, but Robbie Forrest just about manages to negotiate that delivery. So last ball of, I'm sure this will be the last ball of Tom Kearns' spell. He'll have to keep one back for later, I'm sure of that.
Just needs to be careful here. He's maybe got a little bit hung up and trying to play through the offside. That's short and wide.
Real pace there.
Wide ball, yeah,
it's
carried.
wide outside the off stump, but that's carried through to James Cauntle.
They carry through lovely. That carried through very nicely. Yeah, let's sort of get through this last ball. I'd be thinking if I was Robbie. Well bowled.
Robbie's thrown a bit of frustration with himself there. There was no real need for that. I think he'd done his job in that over. St Wands have managed to just about successfully negotiate it. 7 off the over with the wide, so 34 for 2, 5 overs, last over of the power play. There's going to be a change from the pavilion end, I think. It looks like the unmistakable figure of Miles Landick. We'll be watching him hopping into the wicket.
Yeah, I think if you're St Wands here, a decent little recovery so far. I think if you're looking at this and saying if we end up around 45 off the power play or early 40s, it's probably a decent position from where they're at, so they won't be.
But you're going to want to be 2 down though, Harrison, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's the most important thing, really.
Correct.
Is to see this through.
Yeah, correct. And they've just got to set the game up here. They've got power, as you said, Adam Haywood and a few others in the tent. But yeah, they've got power. If they set this game up and get through the power play 2 down, I think they won't be in a bad position. Full and straight to start. Attacking the stumps, it's nice to see. Shot. He can run that, yeah.
I've seen Third Kettle go straight down the ground a couple of times. In fact, in the last over, it was Robbie Forrest who did that, and that was a great shot. But Third Kettle picks up a single to a slight misfield at mid-off.
I think Forrest might look to attack this over potentially. It's 4. Yeah, it's 4 runs. A bit of width. Can't really bowl there with the field that he has set, so he might be disappointed with himself there. Miles?
Robbie Forrest will be conscious of this is the last over with the fielding restriction, so if he does get a bit of width like that, he's going to try and take full advantage, and that was a nice shot. 4 runs.
Yeah, it was. I think, yeah, if you're St Wands here, you know that the two sort of main bowlers are Bosio and Kearns, and you maybe look and see who else can we attack it sort of in the rest of this bowling lineup. So there's plenty of runs out there for them if they just attack the right people. I would say. Probably what Robbie's thinking as well. He's played plenty of cricket up in our first team, and he's sort of his understanding of the game and his knowledge has really come on the last few years. So hopefully so. A shot for one. Interesting to see if he takes on the leg side here. No, well bowled.
Well bowled. Well bowled. Miles Landick. Yeah, it's pretty steady over. One boundary with that little bit of width, but Chirpies doing a pretty good job here, restricting that over to just 7. Harrison's target of 45. Were you looking for, Harrison, somewhere around there?
Yeah, somewhere around
a
that,
little
early
bit
40s,
short,
yeah.
but the most important thing is 2 wickets down.
Correct.
Umpire signals the end of the power play. There'll be a change to the field, and
looks like a change of pace potentially. Could be Neil Davies.
we're looking forward to seeing this.
Yeah.
All those hordes of fans from the European Cricket Network will be very, very interested to see how this great character gets on today.
It certainly will be. This will be an interesting part of the game.
St. Juan's batsman going to be tempted to heave him into the leg side, but that of course is against this stiff breeze, so that's a bit of an advantage to the bowling side. He's got he's got only 4 men on the leg side. I'm quite surprised that he hasn't gone for a 5-4 split, and sure enough,
Nice sweep. Toby, a nice sweeper of the ball.
has managed to drag that round. Quite a bit of width outside the off stump, which would make sense with 5 men out on the offside field, but Toby dragged it round and took a single to deep mid wicket.
I think Robbie will be hoping for a bit of width here. Likes to go through that cover region. Yeah.
Oh, he's hit that really well.
That's what he wants. Yeah, that's his strength.
Well anticipated by Harrison Carline, showing his incredible knowledge as an international cricketer there. But a great execution from Robbie Forrest, though.
Yeah, nice shot. Yeah, very nice shot.
Change of personnel on the sweeping out on the offside. I think Tom Kearns' magic orange boots might be favoured to cut one of those shots off if Robbie Forrest tries the same thing again. Certainly keeping it well outside the off stump there.
Yes, yeah. Maybe something to do with that cross breeze as well. I always find as an off spinner, sometimes with that breeze sort of going towards the offside, it's not easy if you want.
But
to
if you were the batsman at this stage, and with that breeze, the bowler's pushing it outside off stump, you'd probably quite happy hitting it into the offside rather than dragging it into that wind.
Correct. Yeah, I'll be looking to go through or over. Sort of Miles Landick could cover there, maybe not over. He's quite a big lad, not easy to get past him. But
Neil Davies keeps that one outside the off stump in spite of Toby Thurkettle's efforts to drag it round onto the onside, but he misses that one.
He will look to sweep a lot here, Toby, against spin. It's his go-to shot. He normally plays it very well. Good shot. Out to Tom Kearns at deep cover, who throws it in underarm, saving his shoulder for that last over. He's got to bowl later on.
Oh, nice use of the feet
Nice
there
shot.
by Robbie Forrest,
he's run
and
past
Tom
it.
Kearns has run past that one. He'll be a little bit disappointed there. He made good ground, but a little bit of spin on the ball took the ball behind him, and that's a second boundary in the over to Robbie Forrest, who moves on to 37 off just 20 deliveries. So he's really motoring along pretty nicely here. Toby Thurkettle struggling a little bit at less than a run a ball, but nevertheless 52 for 2, 7 overs.
Yeah, he won't want to watch that one again, Tom Kearns, unfortunately, if he watches that back later.
St. Juan's going along at, broadly speaking, 7 runs per over, which should take him to that sort of 150 mark, more or less, that I think Harrison was speaking about. think they might need to get there today.
Yeah. They got some dangerous batters as well, Chirpies. Tom Kearns obviously being one of them, got plenty of power. Will look to play in a similar way to that of sort of what we saw from Ed Giles and Adam Haywood yesterday. They will take the ball in the game on from ball one. So he's one that, looking forward, St Ones when they're bowling will want to get early doors. But yeah, going on nicely now, St Ones actually. Nice little recovery here.
Yeah, they're batting pretty sensibly, these two. No real risks. Sort of the pattern's been one boundary and over and a couple of singles going along at about 7. That last over we got the second boundary. Oh, and this time Thurkettle goes
Neil
over
Davies
the top.
is chasing it hard, and Scott's
I
been
think
to
the
the
ball
boundary.
was always just a favourite there, Harrison, I have to say.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
But it's a good shot by Toby. He's picked that up nicely and probably for first time shown that bit of aggression to muscle the ball in to the into the leg side. He moves on to 12 off 15. So it has been a pretty good partnership after the loss of those early 2 wickets. That's going to be a wide one.
Probably a reaction there to getting hit over long on, trying to keep it out of Toby's arc. Unfortunately, just straying a bit too wide. Long on goes out now. Probably a good idea. Well bowled.
Oh, well bowled, Milo. That was a good comeback.
Yeah, nice delivery in the block hole. Can't hit that for 6. A well executed Yorker is the best ball in the game, in my opinion. Bowled again. Should get back for 2 here. Yeah. Again,
Good
Robbie
running
very
by
quick.
Robbie Forrest. I mean, he was very alert to the fact that there was a good chance of 2 runs there. He moves well. Good athlete, all-round sportsman. Hockey we mentioned. I think there's a family history of racket sports as well. I know I played with his dad a couple of times on the paddle courts. He's a very useful player. And he gets tucked up on his pads this time. Does Toby Thurkettle, and there's no run. So once again the pattern of 1 boundary each over and a couple of singles, which means that St Ones continue to go along at, broadly speaking, sort of 7 runs and over, a little bit like that. So 150, 160 maybe, with a bit of acceleration at the end. Adam Haywood's the haymaker still to come.
Yeah, exactly that. I think St Ones know here, if they keep ticking along the way that they are, and then when Adam Haywood gets to the crease, even if he bats for 4 or 5 overs, there's a chance that a couple of those overs can go for 20, and that can really boost. That can then knock them up to sort of that 170, 180, maybe even higher if he really gets going. But I think that's probably what Robbie's thinking, and I think that's probably the right way to be thinking.
So Neil Davies comes on for his second over.
So bold.
Yeah, it's better. He's straightened up a little
Could get
bit
2
there.
here. Could get
Oh.
2. Man at deep mid wicket didn't move. Richard Anthony? Is that Richard Anthony? Yeah, I think it is.
Gosh.
Yeah, it is Richard Anthony
Oh,
at deep mid
yeah,
wicket.
Yeah. I think he just assumed that mid wicket on the single would cut that one off, but it just squeezed past him. And again, alert running there from Robbie Forrest. Saw there was a chance at 2 and took it. And this time he opens up the offside, but he's only going to get a single there.
Off the outside edge. Slightly. It's nice. It's a good shot for Robbie. I'd just be slightly wary of getting a little bit too leg side of it, getting it a bit off the outside edge and it carrying downwind to deep cover. That's the only potential issue with that shot, but I think I like the option. Oh no.
Oh,
he's dropped it.
My
Oh
goodness.
no.
Well, that's
Oh no.
not the greatest cricket you're going to see today.
That is one that I think some of the boys on the team will probably replay to him on the live stream later on, and will be screen recorded and put in group chats. I've done a lot of coaching with James.
I was out with James Cornt in the week, and he confessed to me that as you reach a certain age, your fielding abilities do tend to go somewhat downhill, and I'll have to agree with that. But he did say to me that as long as he's got his gloves on, he's absolutely fine. So I don't know quite what went wrong there, James, but he missed a bit of a goober.
Yeah, he's shaking his head. Not happy with himself, and I think rightly so. Oh well, take the next one if it comes to him.
Neil Davies, what's he going to be thinking? That was a wicket on finals day for him.
Yeah, he'd have been happy with that.
He won't be happy. James Cornt will be having to buy the Diet Cokes later. But they're all still smiling. Only a game.
Nice cricket shot. It's in the gap. No,
Richard Anthony a little bit more alert this time. Comes in from deep mid-wicket and there's only a single. We haven't had the boundary this over. H, is it going to come here? I'm not sure it will.
No, I don't think so. It's maybe not the same matchup for Toby that it would be for Robbie, but I might be proven wrong. He's going to look to sweep. He's chipped it in the gap.
Might be two here.
It's good running.
Good running again from Robbie Forrest in particular, but good awareness by St Wands there. There is quite a big hole on that leg side, and Richard Anthony, to be fair to him, had to make quite a bit of ground to recover that delivery, and that too was reasonably comfortable, but St Wands boys knew they had to go straight away, and they did. So we're through 9 overs, coming up to the halfway stage, 68 for 2. Good rebuild here after that second wicket fell fairly early on, and it was a slightly dicey time for St Wands, but I think they'll be reasonably happy with progress, Harrison.
Yeah, I think so. I think, at the end of this over, I think they'll reassess and go, right, we're 2 down after 10, we're actually in quite a nice position now. Can we sort of average out at sort of 9 runs per over? Somewhere around there in these last 10, I think, is what they would be thinking. We'll get them up to a nice score, and as I say, try and average out at 9 and over, but if Haywood gets going, potentially a few more than that.
Is he even going to get in, though?
Yeah, well, maybe not. These two are batting very nicely. You'd think that when they start to look to up the rate, maybe around sort of over 12, that there's going to be a few more risks taken and it might present opportunity for Chirpies. But
yeah, I mean, that's the question mark they might have here, is that we're a little bit light in the runs column for St Wands. I mean, they've batted very well from that slightly sticky start, but in the knowledge that there are some big guns waiting to come in, they might feel that they want to press on. So, maybe the 12th over, maybe even a little bit before that. There's a bit of a sign of aggression there from Toby Thurkettle, but he missed that. Miles Landick's doing a good job.
Yeah, it's football. Looks like potentially a wide ball. Maybe not. No,
I think it might have just clipped his pad on the way through, I'm guessing. No interest from the umpire and not much reaction from the players, so everyone seems to be reasonably happy. Good over so far from Landick. And another good delivery. He's got Toby Thurkettle in a bit of a mess here with these full middle and leg stump Yorkers. Thurkettle sort of coming across it a bit too much, maybe trying to hit it too square of the wicket. Might be better off looking more long on, but that's easy for me to say.
Be interested if he goes deeper in his crease, maybe. It's better length.
This time,
like it
comfortably taken, and Landick celebrates as Thurkettle can only spoon the ball towards mid-off, who takes a comfortable catch.
Yeah, and that brings Haywood to the crease. I think Thurkettle batted nicely there for a period of time, did a good job in the situation they were in, but St Wands, I think, won't be disappointed that Haywood is now coming to the crease.
Well, he built himself up yesterday with a quite spectacular innings, one of the most remarkable games of cricket I've ever seen. I mean, I was I watched the first half here at the ground, then I had to go home, and I really enjoyed the commentary from Lee Malloy and Dan Birrell, who I thought was absolutely excellent on comms, especially when he had to do an extra stint. In fact, I've led to believe he might have even had to miss a haircut as a result of being on commentary yesterday, thanks to Lee Malloy and the developments with the incredible last second super over. But anyway, Dan Birrell did a great job there. But more importantly, that innings of Haywood. I mean, watching the game, I have to say, as a sort of bit of an OV at heart, I thought the OVs had comfortably won that game all the way through. I could never see the incredible comeback at the end, and it was absolutely travesty, really, that either side had to lose that game in the end. So sympathy to St Wands and Harrison on my left. Anyway, here comes Adam Haywood. Different day, another game.
Knocks it into the leg side. Oh, he's going to come back from 2. This is dicey. He's not going to throw to his end. It's fine. It's not the quickest Adam, but they did not throw to his end. So
there was a little bit of entertainment yesterday a couple of times. Was it the commentary team seemed to think he was doing the sort of defibrillator sign a couple of times.
Yeah, he was near the point of death, I think, by the end of that innings. But no, he did.
Well, it was a bit
job.
of a life and death knock, really. If it hadn't been for him, I don't think Sir Wands were going to get anywhere near. So no, it was a really, really good, incredible effort from Adam yesterday, which I think everybody at home and at the ground would have thoroughly enjoyed. Right, Harrison's been replaced by Chloe. Welcome aboard.
Thank you very much.
At halfway through this first innings of the semi-final here at Granville, and we're just saying that I don't know if you heard us, Chloe, but good recovery there from Fur Kettle and Robbie Forrest after a slightly sticky start, but we were wondering what. When Adam Haywood was going to get his opportunity. He's got 10 overs to make an impact on this game.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you'd have given him 10 overs yesterday, you've seen the results. So he might fancy himself here with 10 overs.
Yeah, it's a different challenge. It's Luke Bosio's come back on from the change of ends here, and Robbie Forrest quick feet down the wicket, and has hit that nicely into the offside, but just a single. Right, Chirpies bringing back Bosio will be really keen to. They're probably saving him for this moment. They know that this is a key stage of the game, really, with Robbie Forrest looking pretty comfortable. 46 off just, 44 off just 27 deliveries. So he's batting really, really well. But obviously, Adam Haywood, key man yesterday. Big moment. Well bowled Luke Bosio. He's come round the wicket again and slightly squared up Adam Haywood. Plays it reasonably comfortably. You're only as good as your last innings, and his last innings didn't really last very long at all because he was out without facing in the super over, but that doesn't really count. Oh, he's rocked into position on the back foot there, and he's hit that very, very smartly. The gap between long on and deep mid wicket. So Adam Haywood's off the mark boundary wise with a strong 4 runs.
Yep, and now it's a game of fetch the ball.
Yeah, we've got a slight delay here. There's always a little bit of a problem in that hedge down the bottom end.
Robbie's just asked for a quick drink.
Different challenge for Adam Haywood today. I mean, yesterday, probably not huge expectations of him playing Premiership level cricket, and obviously played the innings of his life, but in a funny kind of way that puts more pressure on him today when he's come down to Division 1 level, and probably his teammates are thinking, well, if you can do that yesterday, what can you do today? But every day you start on naught as a batsman.
Yeah, exactly. Just like most sports, every day is different, every game's different, and you can't go in thinking he's just going to do the exact same as he did yesterday. So he'll know that, and he'll have to sort of bat himself in here to start, and then he can look to get going hopefully in the last 5 overs or so.
Yeah, but he started with a bit of swagger and a bit of confidence, which I'm sure he has taken from yesterday's innings. Interesting signal from the umpires there, is that? Not sure what that was all about. Oh, I think it's just indicating that Bosio's coming back round the wicket to Robbie Forrest. And that's a great delivery from Bosio. Quite a bit of pace there from the young lad. Looks like it might have moved away a little bit. Definitely beaten Robbie Forrest outside the off stump into the, well, I was going to say the safe hands of James Court. We just saw something that suggested they're not always that way, but he's a fine keeper, to be fair to him. And great bloke. Everything he's done for Chirpies cricket and Jersey cricket in general. And Bosio bowls that slightly slower, fuller ball. Anyway, slight confusion on our scorecard, which seems to have got a bit stuck, but that's obviously the end of the 11th over, and a good over from young Luke Bosio.
Does only leave him with 1 left, so I'm assuming that'll be kept till the death. St One's just going at a run rate here of just under 7.
Oh, and this is trouble. Wow. Haywood has got right underneath that and skied it comfortably to Mid-off's hands, but Mid-off has gone back, probably anticipating Haywood getting a little bit of better contact, and actually it ends up falling safely, and Haywood comes through for a single. Bit fortunate there. So St One's still going along at, broadly speaking, 7 and over, which has been pretty much the standard throughout the innings so far.
Oh, and they don't want the 2 there.
No, it was slightly different when it was Robbie Forrest battling with Toby Thurkettle and Ben Healis earlier on, but Adam Haywood perhaps not quite so quick between the wickets, but there again, he didn't need to be yesterday when he was thumping sixes for fun.
Stand there and deliver.
Yeah.
And that's worked just on the leg side.
Yeah, made good contact there, Robbie Forrest. He's looking for a boundary to reach his half century, but good contact with the wind. The ball flew out, but straight to deep square leg, short of Tom Kearns, but only a single taken. And this time, Haywood takes full contact, and that is the first 6 of the day. And yeah, memories of yesterday there. Adam Haywood has picked that up beautifully into the bank at Grainville. Once again, threatened to try to take 2. I think Robbie Forrest might have been keen, but Haywood's happy to just to nudge the single after that big 6 over mid-wicket. So St One's move on to 88. Robbie Forrest just short of his 50. Apologies that your scorecard on screen seems to be a bit stuck, but we'll try and keep you updated using the using the scoreboard in front of us. "12 overs gone. It's going to be a change of bowler. It looks like the veteran Richard Anthony coming on from the Bowls Club end. Nice mixture with Chirpies of some experience and youth. James Cornt's done a great job, as I mentioned before, bringing into the game lots of young players, some of whom have got an opportunity today to perform at pretty much the highest level they've had the opportunity to do. But he's also surrounded himself with some tried and tested, experienced players himself: Miles Landick, Richard Anthony. Anthony slightly floated that one up, and Robbie Forrest just pushes it down the ground for a single. Now, I think someone's going to be starting to think about boundaries now. We're into the 13th over. Adam Haywood, the man on strike. It's well bowled. Leg stump Yorker, which Haywood can't get a bat on. Run through for a leg bite.
Given yesterday's scores, what are you thinking SOS will be looking to try and post here?
Yeah, well, this was a question I was asking Harrison early on. I think he mentioned something like 160. In my mind, I wasn't quite sure they get quite that far. I was thinking more 150-ish. Having said that, that's gone through Milo Landick.
Slight misfield, and it's looks like 4 runs. He's just beat deep cover there.
And that is the 50 for young Robbie Forrest. And we're back on with the scoring now. Thank you very much to the team. Robbie Forrest moves on to 51 off just 33 deliveries. So with Adam Haywood starting off pretty well as well, this might be the beginning of a bit of a St Juan's charge.
That's good work out there.
Yeah, so Clubby, to answer your question, I was thinking somewhere around 150. I mean, it's difficult because the boundaries have been brought in quite a bit, which I personally think for this sort of cricket is really quite a good idea. I mean, it's tough on the bowlers, but this game isn't really designed for bowlers, I'm afraid, sorry to say. But it makes it, interesting from a crowd's perspective. The wicket itself, absolutely fantastic yesterday, and I've mentioned that a few times. Makes a huge difference that batsmen can trust the surface, they can anticipate accurately where the ball's going to go, and then they can set themselves up to play the shot that they want to play. So that's really good. So all of those things would suggest high scoring games. Having said that, a bit of rain overnight possibly slowed up the outfield. These blustery conditions are difficult for both bowlers and batsmen really when it's like this. Certainly from a bowling perspective. I don't know what you think about that. Bowling with the wind, it's not always easiest.
Yeah, it's not always easiest, and the batter's always going to target your end if you're bowling into the wind. So that's maybe what Adam and Robbie might be looking at, trying to target one end now with the wind these last 7 overs.
Yeah, this could be a case in point here, as there's a change of bowler from the pavilion end. It's Neil Davis changing ends, and that might bring this leg side boundary into play. Only 2 out on the leg side, which I'm finding quite surprising. And he starts off dragging one a bit leg side, but Robbie Forrest can only get the single there. Now here we go. I think.
Will they push an extra 1 out on the leg side and maybe bring up someone from the offside here? The answer is no. Let's see if Adam goes again.
Well, that's rather what we thought might happen. He's targeted the leg side, but not managed to beat. Tom Kearns at deep mid wicket, who not only fields the ball but puts in a decent throw, which Haywood manages to not see and gets hit on the helmet. But anyway, we're all friends, no problems. Robbie Forrest perhaps favouring the offside, so I think you've got one player here in Haywood who's looking at the leg side, and Robbie Forrest a bit more offside play. I'm still quite surprised they've got 3 men on the single on the leg side here. I'd be tempted to put one of those out and just operate with the two saving the one.
Oh, he's nearly
Haywood
had him there.
Yeah, Haywood
Big
has a
swing
across
from
the line.
Haywood.
No contact.
Yeah, I was just only having 4 out here with 7 to go. There you go. Deep square's just gone back now.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised that wasn't done before, but doesn't matter how far you put your deep fielder if Haywood's going to get hold of it like that, as he repeats some of yesterday's antics and reaches the bank. That's his second 6 of the innings, and Haywood moves on to 24 off 14 deliveries, so this might be taking the game away slightly from Chirpies here.
Now, do you think Robbie's intent here for the last sort of few overs will just be to get Adam on strike and see how many balls Adam can face, a bit like yesterday?
I'm certain that's going to be the case. Robbie Forrest's quite content to scamper a couple of 2s and push singles into the offside, but get Adam Haywood to face as many balls as he can and see how destructive he might be with still 6 overs plus to go. Oh, well bowled, Neil Davis. Well bowled. It's
another humongous swing from Adam.
Huge swing, went nowhere. James Corn can't believe it, just missed that leg side bail. Potentially quite a big moment, that, because the difference between getting Haywood out and him staying in for 6 overs could be quite a substantial difference.
Good over from Neil though, just what's that, 9 coming from it?
Yeah, it's been the sort of flavour of the day so far, Chloe. It's been most overs have gone for 1 boundary and 2 or 3 singles, so that's been consistently going on. That's about 7 and over, something like that.
Chirpies won't be too sort of unhappy at that. They'll be quite content, sort of SOS reaching 105 with
6 overs to go.
Yeah, I'm just looking at our board over there saying 15.
Now that's not going to help Chirpies though. That's going to be 4 wides, so 5 runs go on the total, and Richard Anthony's going to have to reload and bowl that one again.
I've got that board saying 15.
As we stated before, Robbie Forrest favouring the offside. He's pushed that and scampered a 2, so he keeps on strike. It must be, I think this must be right, Chloe. 14 overs because we started at the bottom end, so it's got to be an even number. Forrest could be in trouble here. Good catch at backward point.
Is that the young lad Luke?
That is the young lad Luke Bosio, and that's quite a big moment there. Robbie Forrest again opening up the offside, but not quite getting hold of it. A bit top edgy, and Luke Bosio takes a good catch in the swirling breeze at backward point. And Robbie Forrest departs for a well-made 56 off just 37 balls. I think St Ones will be happy with that effort. Got them out of a little bit of a hole at 2 wickets down early doors. He might be a little bit disappointed he couldn't carry his bat. I reckon he'd be thinking to himself, 75 not out, support Adam Haywood. But he's done a great job there, so well batted, Robbie. So Gareth Spence is the incoming batsman, and slight correction, that good catch that Chloe and I both mistakenly thought was Luke Bosio was actually the young lad Cornick. So well held he, because that was a tricky one in the breeze, and he did a very, very good job for his team.
Ooh.
Richard Anthony's in. There's a confident appeal from James Cornt. It's maybe slightly less confident from Richard Anthony. Doesn't look... Well, I don't know. Not too sure about that. Cornt is disgusted. But Haywood has had a big swipe. And who knows? James Cornt's body language is pretty obvious that he's convinced. There was a thin edge there. Umpire unmoved, and it's the umpire's decision that's slightly more important, unfortunately. Anthony in again. Good ball.
He's recovered really well from his first ball that went for the 5 wides.
Yeah.
2 dots, 3 runs and a wicket.
Yeah, well spotted, Chloe. Has been a good recovery from Richard Anthony.
That's all you can ask of your bowlers when something doesn't go their way, just how they recover from it.
And having said that, Haywood's moved his feet nicely and picked that up really well into the breeze over the mid-wicket boundary, and picked up a boundary at the end of the over. So
an interesting point there. No leg side fielders out there, or just
yeah.
Everyone was up. So I think Adam had free range there just to try and go over, which he did.
Yeah, and that might be a slight mistake really, because as we were just you pointed out, it's been a really good over from Richard Anthony, and as a bowler and as a fielding side, you want to preserve that good over. So it would have been probably a sensible move to, especially with someone like Adam Haywood, who you know is going to target that area, to put someone out and just get through that over. A man out there would have meant that would have been a single, and you've potentially won that over, as opposed to maybe on as even with a wicket but a boundary being hit as well. So 5 overs to go. Run of ball gets you to around that sort of 150 mark, which I've thought all the way through is probably someone's are likely to get. But one big over. What did Adam Haywood do yesterday? 20 off Robbie Duckett's 16th, 17th over, whatever it was, which for me was the turning point in the game.
And as you can see from the field there, they were really trying to squeeze that new batter on strike, really trying to avoid Haywood coming on strike, and now you see the field spread now. All 5 go out, which is obviously not surprising.
Yeah.
3 out on the leg side, 2 out on the off side. Let's see what we have.
No prizes for guessing where Haywood's going to try and hit this one.
And he...
Oh my
great
goodness.
Fielding out there.
Incredible bit of fielding. Richard Anthony there is tried to put the slide in, which was probably the right thing to do, but he's done a bit of a sort of Simon Jones moment where his knees dug into the ground, and you're thinking, well, he's going to either hurt himself or definitely not stop the ball. But he's managed to adjust his body position and save the boundary. However, next ball gets deposited straight into that bank again from Haywood. With the breeze and with this bowling style, there's not much doubt that's what Haywood's going to try to do. And he moves on to 36 of just 20 deliveries, as the ball is found right at the top of the bank at Granville. That's a pretty decent hit, even with this wind. We're going to see some more fireworks this over. Answer, yes, that's gone in pretty much the same place. This could get a bit messy for Chirpies here.
And I don't know if this is a case of bowling spin at the end, where Adam Haywood now can easily access with the wind, hitting the spin into the wind. Might have been more tactical to go from the other end, spin from the other end, pace from this end.
Yeah, I don't know what their other pace options are. We know that, well, this time Neil Davies has done a sensible thing and really pushed that outside off stump to prevent Haywood from targeting that shorter leg side boundary. But Haywood manages to squeeze it away into the offside, gets a single.
And up comes the field. Let's see if Gareth can do his job here and sneak a single.
It's exactly what he's done, but Chirpies won't be too disappointed about that. It's at the end of the over, so he keeps the strike. But that was a big over for St Juan's, two big sixes, and suddenly that 150 target becomes much more achievable. And I think maybe Harrison's suggestion that 160, even 170 might be more the target. That might be attainable now for St Juan's, and this is going to be a real big ask for Chirpies. I don't know what their bowling options are from this end. We know Tom Kearns has got one left, so he could bowl one over from this end, but they've got to find one other bowler as well. Has Luke Bosnier
Luke's got
bowled out?
one left, I think.
Yeah, so I suppose I'd go for. Would you go for one from Luke and one from Tom Kearns at this end?
Oh, just a signal to wide there. Yeah, I think you've got to look at changing something. Or you saw Neil there come back with a slightly wider delivery, which Adam couldn't access. So maybe that's your alternative. Dot ball.
This time Gareth gets it down to third. Single taken. Be interesting to see if Haywood fancies his chances into this. I'm going to call it a longer leg side boundary. I'm not sure it really is longer, but again, I know we've been talking about this breeze, which if anything seems to have strengthened. Well, he hits it onto the leg side, but only for a single. Yeah, I think it's all going to be about the 2 overs from this end, really, Chloe, as to how many runs St Juan's can eke out. Anthony floats one up.
Full toss.
Oh,
A slight misfield out there. Sort of deep mid wicket.
yeah, Bosio will be a little bit disappointed with himself there. He's let that through his hands. And that's another boundary. And suddenly
4
this
for Gareth.
St Juan's total is looking really quite substantial. Nice footwork from Gareth Spence there. And that's a really good shot,
That is a really
actually.
nice shot.
Yeah, he's used his feet beautifully and pushed it over mid-off, and it's crept over the long off boundary. So another boundary.
And interesting, they've pushed back, sort of mid off now, long off. Another full toss that he squeezes through deep square for another 4.
Bit of a painful over for Chirpies there. 3 consecutive boundaries at the end of the over, and that's from Gareth Spence, who Chirpies will be thinking is the less dangerous man. And things get even worse as that high full toss is now called a free hit. So 4 runs, counts as 5, and they've got to reload.
That's another.
So expensive over there from Richard Anthony.
think 3 overs to go. I think all 5 men have to be out here every time. I don't think you can give too much space for. You've seen Gareth can punish the balls.
Well, there is a predictable change of bowling, and it will be young Luke Bosio to bowl the 18th over and the penultimate one from this pavilion end. So I think that was a very sensible move. I shall be astonished if Tom Kearns doesn't bowl the last over from this end as well. Now, can Luke help Chirpies just control this a little bit better than they have? It's the last 2 overs are really taking things away in St Wands's favour here. I think St Wands will be sitting pretty comfortably at the moment.
Luke's just sorting out his field here. He's bringing up fine leg.
Yeah, I think you've got to do that really. I mean, in old traditional cricket you have your fine leg down, but that's the one you've got to sacrifice, and then that fine leg becomes not really saving a single. It's more like a goalkeeper there. He's got to try and stop anything getting past him, but you've got 3 men out on the leg side, but that does open up holes on the offside, which Gareth Spence has.
Take a 2 here.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Good throw. Miles Landwick was a little bit slow getting to it at third, but the throw was good, and James Cornt looked pretty interested there for a moment, but Spence gets back safely for 2.
Yeah, 5 out on the leg side here. Let's see what Gareth can do.
Ooh, got away with that one, I think.
Yeah, umpire doesn't want to
Yeah.
give a wide there. It's just missed his leg side.
It's difficult for Bosio here because it's the leg side you want to protect, but then the alternative is to try and push the ball out onto the offside, but then you haven't got the protection there because you've moved 5 over onto the leg side. So do you stick or twist?
It's great running there from the 2 batters. Pushed it out to deep square, and they've managed to come back for a 2.
I think Luke's got a really well, I'd be looking to target off stump, but not too wide. Oh, that's got to be very close, surely.
Shout, yeah.
And that what looked out from here.
Well bowled, young Luke.
Well bowled, Luke Bosio. Yeah, he's done the right thing there. I think that was a slightly slower ball, and Gareth Spence was through the shot before it really arrived at him. He'd shuffled across, looking to target that leg side boundary, and not many complaints about that one. Anyway, Gareth Spence departs the scene for a very well made 21 off just 13 balls. Might have expected him to be playing second fiddle to Adam Haywood, but actually he's gone along at a
20 weights.
pretty similar rate.
This brings now Jonty Waite to the crease.
Now he can hit the ball as well.
2 and a bit to go.
Yeah, there could be some fireworks still to come here. Weather holding off at the moment, a little bit of cloud cover, but there's some blue sky around. Not quite the predicted storms at midday. Hopefully we'll steer clear of those.
2 young batters and a young bowler. This is what you like to see.
Yeah.
Well bowled again.
Yeah, it's been a good over this from Bosio. We predicted there would be a change of bowling from this end, and he is a fine young prospect, and he's only conceded the 5 runs and taken a wicket. What can Haywood do off the last ball? think we all know where it's going to go.
Oh, it's down leg side. It's a good stop from James, but they'll still get away with the one.
Can Bosio get through and complete this over? Well bowled, that's excellent. Absolutely excellent delivery. Just slightly blotted his copybook with that penultimate ball wide, but nevertheless, Chirpies will be happy with that. It's a considerable recovery from the previous 2 overs, which have been a bit painful for Chirpies. 2 overs to go.
Luke finishing his spell 33 for 2 after his 4.
Yeah, not a bad effort at all from the young man. Now this is interesting. It looks like Tom Kearns is obviously favouring that bowls club end of the ground. That's where he opened up from. And he's going to bowl his final over, the 19th. I'm not quite sure what options that leaves Chirpies for the 20th over. I think Chirpies will be very, very keen to see the back of Haywood here in this over if they can. Here comes Kearns. Good ball. Good ball. That targeted Haywood's
followed
body.
Haywood there, didn't he?
Yeah, he followed. It was quite clever bowling that actually. Bit
Haywood,
of extra pace.
Yeah, he just moved to the leg side there, just to try and probably open up the offside maybe. Tom following him, and I think Adam's taken a sore one here. He's just going to take a moment.
Can't imagine there'll be huge amounts of sympathy from the Chirpies contingent. Well, that's interesting.
And
so Kearns has just tried the same thing. Haywood's probably predicted it coming. He's moved his feet, got well across, but so far across that he doesn't even get the wide. So honours to Tom Kearns after the first 2 balls of this over. Where are we going to go now? Well, that's interesting. Oh, he won't be happy with that. I think maybe a little bit unlucky there for Tom Kearns. Have to see that one again, but Haywood's gone the other way and opened up the offside and probably made it into a wide, but I don't know whether if he'd stayed where it was, it would have been. But anyway, umpire's decision, and it was a wide.
Let's see if Haywood tries this shot again, because there's no fine leg in place. No, he's moved over. And he gets it through the offside, through backward point and third man.
Yeah, I think Haywood might be better advised to just stand his ground here instead of moving around, but he managed to get hold of that with the toe end of the bat, and he's got 4 runs for it, so he'll be reasonably happy with that, and he moves on to 48 off just 26 deliveries. So that's a bit more like it. He did move his feet that time, but he's opened up the big space over the bowler's head and absolutely clubbed it straight back over Tom Kearns' head, and that's his 50. It's another good innings, which he'll be happy about. I'm sure he'll be telling us all about that later in the bar, as he did yesterday. Slightly tongue-in-cheek yesterday, Adam Haywood was quite happy when Nick Greenwood was out in the final, just 1 run short of Adam Haywood's total. He was able to claim that he was the highest scorer of the day, which was a fact. Didn't score quite as quickly as Nick Greenwood. And this time he's walked right across to the offside, managed to miss it down what became his leg side, but it still missed off stump by quite a bit. So it's a bit sort of strictly ballroom going on here.
And this ball's carrying a long, long way to the keeper, James. It's a good take from him. I don't think he could quite see it when Adam moved across.
This time he's tried that club straight back down the ground.
And they're
not quite got hold of it, and just a single, but that does mean that he keeps the strike into the final over. And 2 boundaries off that over takes St One's up to 168, so I think they're going to be pretty happy with this total with 1 over to go. And keen to see who's going to bowl this one, and with Haywood back on strike, I think the bank could be in for a bit more of a pounding here. It's going to be Richard Anthony stepping up, showing his maturity, taking the last over, which I think probably had to do. But he's been a bit expensive. 36 off his 3, so he's going at 12s. And I would imagine if you were St One's here, you'd be thinking there's another 12 runs on offer from this over. They'll certainly be targeting that. Getting up to something like 180, which really will be a pretty sizable score.
Yeah, their target here, trying to push this run rate up to maybe just over 9s and maybe get to 10s.
Can Richard Anthony come back? Oh dear, he's bowled a good ball. He's done what's been asked of him, but unfortunately
Haywood wants to strike.
Keeper. Oh, it's all happening there. As Chloe said, Adam Haywood wanted to keep on strike, so he was prepared for once to take the 2. James Corn unfortunately fumbled it slightly. Then he thought the throw was going to hit the stumps directly and Haywood could have been run out, but actually none of that happened, and he runs through 2 byes. And this time Haywood does get hold of it, not quite as well as some of the others which have thundered into the bank, but he still manages to clear the wide long on boundary. So that's 6 more, and this is getting quite painful for Chirpies. This time he can't evade the onside fielders, and he just jogs through for a single. But I think Haywood will feel that he's probably done his job here. 60 not out off 32 balls. Jonty Waite's got 3 deliveries left here to get what he can for the team. Good bowling from Richard Anthony. He's banged that one in short outside the off stump, and Waite probably trying to get it round onto the leg side, just didn't make contact. Just a single.
Last ball.
10 off the over so far. Last one, so 2 of those were byes, so they don't go down against Richard Anthony, so he's done a reasonable job so far. Can Haywood make clean contact again? Good fielding. Good little bit of teamwork on the boundary there. That's the young lad Cornick, who made a very good catch early on in the innings, and he's done a nice bit of fielding alongside Tom Kearns, so restricted that to 2 off the last ball. Haywood ends up on 62. So another fine innings from him. He's had a good weekend. Jonty Waite a couple not out, and I think at the end of the day St One's will be very happy with that total, and that's going to stretch Chirpies. There's going to have to be a major contribution somewhere down the line, and looking around I think there's going to be a lot of emphasis on what Tom Kearns can do with the bat. But well batted St One's. Well done Adam Haywood. I'm sure we'll be hearing about that later on in the afternoon. Generous round of applause from Chirpies, who are having a bit of a team huddle, a little bit of a discussion about how their day's gone. But we'll be back after the innings break to assess how Chirpies get on in response. Right, well, good afternoon and welcome back to Granville for the second innings of this semi-final in the Division 1 T20 Cup Day. We've managed to avoid the worst of the rain. We had one tiny little shower that just came through in the break. That was quite convenient. Hopefully it's going to remain the case. In fact, it's looking fairly blue out to the west at the moment. It looks quite pleasant. As Chirpies make their way out to face this pretty daunting challenge to score 181 in their 20 overs. Couple of good innings there from Adam Haywood and Robbie Forrest, both of whom featured in yesterday's games in the Premiership, so they'll have come into this game with some confidence. And I've got Dan Beryl on commentary with me now. After his fantastic efforts to get this ground looking in tip-top condition, and I have mentioned a couple of times, Dan, in your absence, how impressed I've been with the carry and the wicket in particular. So you've done a great job there. You must be very happy with the way the games were played out yesterday.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, sort of touched on it yesterday on comms that we were trying to get this place back to what it used to be, and like it's taken a lot of hours on the grounds to sort of get us to this point, but it's nice to have a showcase day yesterday. I mean, I can't actually remember what the exact stats were, but it was over 700 runs scored across 2 games yesterday, and I mean, if you're sort of looking at that as a 4-day sort of game, you'd be taking that as a day's play. So just trying to get the life back into the wickets, trying to take a wee bit of that turnout, get the pace and bounce back of what everyone used to like Granville to be like. So yeah,
it's been a phenomenal effort. I mean, obviously the boundaries were brought in a bit yesterday, which is fair enough. Anyway, that's yesterday. Here we go. Challenging target for Chirpies, and maybe a bit disappointed not to get a wide that first delivery.
Definitely.
Richard Anthony has come in to take the first ball.
Good option.
Oof. Robbie Forrest very quick to pick that one up, and Ben France might have been struggling just a little bit there, but he's made it through. Chirpies are off the mark. One to Richard Anthony.
Moves well along the ground, Robbie Forrest. Nice player. Good fielder. Shot.
Ben France off the mark, pushes one to deep extra cover. Lucky Singh coming in from the Bowls Club end, pushes one outside off stump. Richard Anthony plays a similar shot out to deep extra. The unmistakable figure of Ed Loader behind the stumps. Great club man, Ed Loader. He'd always agree to do anything you ask of him. A top man.
What do we reckon if we had some WinViz sort of percentages going on today? Wardy J, what do you reckon WinViz would be saying?
Well, I'm afraid I think it's against Chirpies at the moment. I think they've got a bit of a mountain to climb here.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you 20% Chirpies, and that might be being generous. But I hope they make a real good fist of it here.
Definitely.
I really do. Lucky Singh's bowled a
Shot.
decent first over. Ben France has gone straight down the track. Got hold of that one beautifully. 4 runs.
I think
That'll cheer Chirpies up a little bit.
A few more of them will be creeping up on that WinViz that you just said there, Wardy. I think if someone can sort of lock them into a 50 or 60 off this first power play, I think they'd be over the moon with that.
Yeah, I mean, the St One's innings, as we were saying on commentary, there was typically one boundary hit off each over, a couple of singles. They went along consistently at pretty much 7 and over throughout, and then, of course, overs 15 onwards, there was a couple of very expensive overs indeed, as risks were taken, and Dan Beryl's bank was pummeled. But I think with Chirpies, they're going to have to be sort of consistently going along at 8 to 10 and over, certainly during this power play, to give themselves a sniff of getting near this score.
I think
fair play to
Chirpies need to do exactly what SOS have done that first inning. Sort of now the wind's picked up today, sort of howling straight across Granville from the west. I think trying to attack that bank to the longer side of the boundary, but if anything, it sort of evened itself out today with that cross breeze. So if bowlers are coming on, especially sort of off spinners from this end, I think they need to attack them ends very well, otherwise they're going to come up fairly short here.
Yeah, if anything, that breeze has actually died down just a little bit, because midway through St Juan's innings it was really pretty brisk, but it's died down a little bit. But certainly you're going to favour the leg side boundary. Adam Haywood's bowling, nice pace here. Oh, blimey. Richard Anthony has clattered into Ed Loader, and there's only one person going to win that.
That's not the sort of bloke that I'd be wanting to run into if I was the batter, I don't think.
You want to avoid that if you can. Good job it wasn't Luke Bosio. You'd never see him again. Here comes Haywood. He's got a nice bowling action, and he's keeping a good line. Bowling at 5th, 6th stump, outside off stump comfortably, protecting that leg side boundary. Not going to be easy for Chirpies to get away here. So Dan, what happened with the haircut yesterday? You got so involved in your commentary stint. I was very worried about your hairdresser's appointment.
It was probably a bit of poor preparation from me. I sort of thought that the weather might be on my side and I might be able to get away for 45 minutes and sort of take it as a lunch break. But I think when we sort of woke up and realised that there'd been 35 mils of rain overnight and we might have a bit of a challenge against us to get the game on time. I think the pushback of the first game with the Super over and how much I enjoyed my stint on the commentary yesterday, I sort of messaged the great man Ross down at Barvello in town, just said any chance you can squeeze me in the week just so I can pursue my career in this great game of commentary. But managed to.
Yeah, well, Barbelo's loss is my gain, because I get to see you with your lovely locks for one more day. As Adam Haywood comes towards the end of a pretty impressive first over here. He's only gone for 3 so far, and I'm predicting to do the same thing here and push it outside off stump, which means that Ben France has got limited options. He might try and hit one firmly down the ground that we saw. He needs a boundary, really. Oh. Loader. Oh. Well, Ed Loader. Oh my blimey. I thought he was going to get hit on the back of the Swede there, to use your terminology, Dan. Ed Loader looked like a failed gymnast from the Orkney Island Games there as he made a despairing dive. The ball ended up in Lucky Singh's hands as Ed recovered his composure, not very well I might say. Lucky Singh threw the ball and it almost disappeared somewhere unmentionable. Anyway, everyone survived. Ben France got a single in the end after all that excitement. A minor earth tremor down at the Bowls Club end. Ed Loader's grinning away. He's quite happy about life.
I actually think that's one of the better times I've seen loads move in the past couple of years, to be fair.
Here comes Lucky Singh. France down the track, tried to repeat that shot at the end of the first over, but he's only going to take a single to long on. I think the Chirpies chase here is going to be very, very reliant on Tom Kearns, who I imagine will be coming in at first wicket down, because he's got the power and ability to cause some problems here, but there's going to be an awful lot of pressure on him to do that.
Yeah, I think if Tom Kearns gets going here for Chirpies, they might be in with a slim chance, but I think it'll get to a point here where these two openers are sort of going to have to get out of the way and get him in earlier, because I think, as you just said, I think the only chance of Chirpies winning here today is that if Tom Kearns gets going.
It's a difficult one for Chirpies. I mean, they've come from very much development cricket team. Some of the players that James Cork's got hold of hardly played any cricket at all before they got involved with him, and he's done absolute wonders for them, and they'll be enjoying their day out in the sunshine here. But they have got a big challenge. It's not a bad shout actually, but no interest from the umpire, and Ben France lives to fight another day. You're under a bit of pressure yesterday on the commentary there, Bizzer, because dear old Lee had done a great job, but I think he was probably, like the rest of us, suddenly realised that there was all chance that a super over might be required, but of course Lee himself was involved in the management of the day, and I'm guessing realised at very, very short notice that there hadn't really been a provision, so suddenly someone had to make some pretty big decisions, leaving your very good self on the mic for quite a long period of time actually.
Yeah, I mean, it was very not ideal. I mean, I sort of don't... you'll probably argue this, but you know that I can talk for England, but sort of put a microphone in front of me, I'm not all that good at it, so having to sort of fill in as a buffer for 15-20 minutes while Lee had to go and sort out and check the rules in a pretty high pressure environment after a few of the OV supporters and SOS supporters had a few beers in the bar and were sort of getting stuck into everyone about what the rules should be and how they think the game should be decided. There was some shouts of, oh, it should go down to wickets lost or net run rate or position in the league and all that sort of stuff, but I think in the end, everybody at Granville and everybody that watched the stream sort of got exactly what they wanted out of it, which was another couple of overs of cricket, which were very entertaining. And I mean, Ed Giles' striking yesterday throughout the whole day was superb. I mean, when you get chances to watch people striking a cricket ball like that, I think you just got to enjoy it, because it's slim pickings. Like, the ball was going all over the place yesterday, and I mean, we were discussing how much we would have backed Elliot Miles to bowl that over, and he was pummeled, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely the right choice of bowler, and I
100%.
I mean, I know what Ed Giles is capable of, but I did think that I didn't see any chance of him getting those runs off that last over, and then the first three balls went flying out the ground, and
Indeed.
It was remarkable, absolutely remarkable. And as you say, I think whilst there may not have been any provision for the actual circumstances yesterday, the decision which was made at very short notice was absolutely the right decision. It was the only way to fairly try and find a winner, and we had to find a winner, but it's just whoever lost that game, it was tremendously sad and disappointing, because neither side deserved to lose. I know that's a bit of a cliche, but they really didn't yesterday. Anyway, that was yesterday. Here we go with Adam Haywood coming in for his second over, and he's making life difficult for Chirpies. They've only managed 16 off their first three, so there is the desperate need to try and hit a couple of boundaries here, just to keep themselves in with some sort of a sniff of a chance in this game.
He's definitely still getting the ball to move in the air, so, and that's against the wind as well, so not promising signs from Chirpies. He bowls outside the off stump again, but that one swung a wee bit too much and is going to be given a wide. Yeah, I feel like they're going to have to get moving here, Chirpies, at some point. Make use of this power play, because once that field goes out and scatters, it's going to get a lot more difficult for them.
Well, unless you've got a powerful enough hitter to breach the boundary or hit it over the boundary, and I know we keep talking about Tom Kearns, who I'm sure we'll see him in due course, and he is capable of doing that. Sure. We know that. It's a good effort. He's tried to get that aerial over the offside, but only manages to get it to Deepak's recover, who comes in with a rather powerful throw. Ed Loder's left floundering, but backed up by Lucky Singh.
They move well in the field, so that's quite well drilled. Captain Robbie Forrest has got them in some good shapes this year. They've had a lot of success. I feel like they've got a good chance, if they manage to get through this game, of taking Farmers right to the wire.
This time Richard Anthony manages to squeeze one out, but to that same fielder in the deep on the offside, who gets his range right with his throw this time. Nice throw into Ed Loder's gloves.
Oh, well bowled. Well played. Adam just chucks in a short ball there, which is sort of ramped over the slips if there was one there to deep third. Picked up, nice throw, tidy bit of work. Just going to get the one.
Need to find the boundary here to Chirpies. They've got a couple of wides from this over, but that's not really going to make much impact on the required run rate. Boundaries required. Can Richard Anthony muster up his 20.05 self? The answer is no. There you are, slightly different shot between the one he played and the one he rehearsed afterwards. I don't know if you noticed that, Dan.
Yeah. Sort of.
The shot he rehearsed afterwards looked like a cricket shot. The shot he played looked like something different.
I think one thing Chirpies are going to have to watch out for is that run rate that's just slowly creeping up. I think if it starts getting into them regions of 12s, 13s and over, I think it's going to be a struggle if these two are still in. It's a good run.
I think, to be brutally honest with Chirpies, this probably is their final, and I think they're enjoying their day out, and they probably might not have actually said this, but they might be thinking to themselves, well, if we can stay out there and score 120, we might not win the game, we might not make the final, but we'll have acquitted ourselves fairly well.
Definitely. I think like Chirpies is a cricket club, and James Corn and all the work that he's done for Chirpies is fantastic. I mean, we were lucky enough to be invited to their evening with Adam Hollyoake on a Tuesday night, which is a great evening and for some great causes, and Cornty behind the scenes is setting up charities and all sorts of different opportunities for the lads that are coming through at Chirpies Cricket Club, which I think is absolutely class for the game. I mean, he's discussing that for the public school boys over here, sort of trying to introduce them into the game, which is obviously something that means quite a lot to me, having been in that same position and wanting more lads at public schools to play this game and travel the world with their mates playing this beautiful game. So if Jamesy does ever listen to this, I mean, keep up the top work, and you've done yourselves proud by getting to this point, so whatever happens today.
Yeah. I totally agree. He's an inspirational character, Cornty, and I've seen him over the years operating with the young kids, and the kids love him. The parents think he's absolutely fantastic as he is, and the enthusiasm that he generates and the interest that he generates amongst the next generation of young cricketers is absolutely fantastic. And without those coming across the range of schools, you cut off your supply. So what he's done already has been absolutely fantastic, and long may it continue. At the moment, from his development plan, he got Richard Anthony, who's not much younger than me. Actually, he's looking pretty good on it, to be fair. He looks like a young whippersnake, doesn't he? He looks fit and healthy. But he does need to try and score a little bit more quickly here to keep his team in the game.
Talking of people coming through the ranks at Chirpies Cricket Club, I think we got to witness Luke Bozio bowling a wee bit earlier, who's a very, very nice bowler. He's a great talent coming through. He's playing for Jersey under-19s in their World Cup qualifier over the next couple of weeks. He's a serious bowler. He swings it both ways, lovely action, left armour. He's a great talent and someone that's come through these Chirpies ranks and managed to go on and play for SOS Ones, which he wasn't a part of yesterday. I think he was on holiday in Tenerife or something like that, so he was quite a big miss for the St. Ones yesterday, but he's definitely one to watch, especially in this 19s tournament. He's young in that 19s group, and as I said earlier, he looks to swing it both ways at a young age. He's incredible talent, and he's actually quite handy with the bat as well, so I think they'll be looking to get him in at some point today as well. We'll get to have a look at him, hopefully.
I'm not too sure of Luke Bozio's background, but I don't think he comes from what you sort of call a traditional cricket playing family or anything like that. So again, more power to James Cornt and the influence that he and his fellow coaches have had, because we discussing on commentary what a clever bowler Luke Bozio was, and he's still young, but the fact that he thought experimented with coming round the wicket, going over the wicket, he could see what the breeze was doing. He obviously had plans, and then, as you said, he can move the ball both ways. It's a brilliant story to tell, really, for him and for others like him, about what you can achieve in this great game, as long as you've got people with confidence and enthusiasm around you, and that's what James Cornt and the others at Chirpies have brought. So, irrespective of the result in today's game, I think what Chirpies are doing is a wonderful thing. Now, it's going to be a change of bowler from the pavilion end. The last over of the power play.
That's Rowley. King Rowley. Nice bowler. I think he's featured in SOS ones a couple of times, Rowley.
Yeah, I've certainly come across him before playing against Chirpies. What can France do? Ooh, there's an opportunity here to target that leg side boundary, particularly with the fielding restrictions still in place. But there's only 5 balls left to do it now.
Yeah, I think
So,
if you were looking to take on an over, it'd have to be sort of last over of the power play of an off spinner as he spoons the ball up. Has he gone too far, Haywood? Oh, he's taken a good catch at long on. I think they needed to take that risk there. I think he's played an all right knock, Ben France there. I think 13 off 16. He'll be quite disappointed coming out, but as we discussed earlier, it might be time to get out of the way and give someone else a crack.
Yeah, it's clever bowling by the new bowler on Rowley there, because Ben France knew he had to target the that shorter boundary. Well, it might not be technically shorter, Dan, but with the breeze it sort of would seem that way. He's got to target that boundary, especially in the power play with only 2 men out. But instead of the shorter ball that he bowled to open up with, which did give an opportunity to hit the ball at square leg where there was no fielder, he's pitched it right up, and the only opportunity he had was to hit it, really try and hit the 6 over long on, which didn't really get near to that. Adam Haywood seemed to run in a little bit too far, but in the end took it pretty comfortably. So Ben France departs for more or less a run of ball 13.
Tim Peach, great name.
Tim Peach, the incoming batsman, with 4 balls left of the power play to see what he can do. Should be a bowler really with a name like Peach.
Yeah,
what an absolute
that would suit
peach.
well. That would suit well. Good starts from Rowley. Yeah, dot wicket for the last over of the power play. Same ones. Be interesting to see how they go about starting up their knocks here, because I think that sort of game when you're chasing a total like 180, I think they're going to have to start fast here. Cut one and just finds a point field up. Not too sure if you guys picked that up on the microphone, but Adam Haywood, who scored a tremendous 96 off 50 balls, I think, yesterday, is starting to fire up about how many ones players they've got in this twos St. One Springfield lineup. But I think the strong sides in this second division, well, first division, but twos cricket, is only going to be beneficial to these Chirpies lads playing against some high quality players in a semi-final on the big stage on a good wicket. I think Rory comes in and bowls. Oh, as one of them ones players that we were just discussing, Robbie Forrest at mid-wicket, sort of tries to track back to one that's been spooned up in the air and just misjudges it a wee bit.
Richard Anthony's opened his shoulders there and given it a huge hit, and it's just about reached the 30-yard circle. But Robbie Forrest could have made a name for himself there with a spectacular effort, as Tim Peach pushes one out to deep extra, and they managed to get through for 2. But that's a good over from Rowley King, taking a wicket. Only conceded, what was that, 4 runs off the over, and Chirpies a long way behind the asking rate. They're going along at 5 and over. So bearing in mind my made up target for them, which they might be thinking of in the back of their heads, of something like 120, a run a ball, which would make them reasonably happy, whilst Obviously not challenging St Wands, but they've got a way to go there. End of the power play signals. Change of bowler. What's the dimensions of the ground, Dan? Who sort of specifies where you put the boundary ropes? Is it totally down to you, or is it European cricket standard, or is it ICC?
I mean, a lot of the stuff that we try and do is when it's local club stuff like this. Lee puts a lot of effort in behind the scenes to sort of set these kinds of weekends up, and we sort of sat down. We usually sit down in the week and discuss sort of setups of the ground, where marquees and things like that go, and which wicket we're going to play on. And one thing that was discussed for this weekend is sort of that is a
sorry
hell
to
of a
interrupt, but that is
shot.
a great shot. Where Richard Anthony got that one from, he's really smashed that over extra cover where there is always a hole, and he's hit a very welcome boundary indeed to greet the new bowler.
That just pushes them up there. I think we just need to stay on. I think we're looking at that boundary and over it again, onto them shortish boundaries that we were just discussing. So yeah, me and Lee usually sit down in the week if it's something that we've organised or that we're looking to organise. Obviously when people like European cricket come over, they'll have specifications of what they want. I think they'll give us a boundary sizes similar with the ICC. There'll be a minimum that they can be for ICC standard games. These would be a little bit short of that, just because we sort of we're expecting a wee bit of rain. We weren't too sure if we were going to get the wicket to be as good as this, or as good as it played yesterday anyway. So sort of bringing the ropes into that sort of late 50s, early 60s region obviously favours the batter on a good wicket, but sort of with the crowds coming in and people watching on the stream, it's obviously a lot better for the ball to be going for 6. And one thing that I would say is that yesterday the sixes that we did see, they were going a long way. So I don't think the boundary ropes would have made too much of a difference.
Unless you're going to put the boundary rope halfway through the tennis court at one stage.
Yeah, exactly.
Some absolutely spectacular hitting going on yesterday. But I do agree with you. Whilst it's tough on being a bowler, that mainly for this sort of event spectacle, you really want to have sixes. That's what entertains people, and it's the same for both sides. There's a real challenge from the bowlers, of course, but it was a fantastic day yesterday, and all credit to all those involved, the grounds staff, yourself, but also the administrators and everything that the JCB did, because it was a really successful day.
Some spectacular games of cricket yesterday. I mean, Adam Haywood, if he would have got SOS over the line yesterday with 100 and in a winning cause, I think we would have that would have been one of the best knocks I'd seen at Granville, I think.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Young Charlie P comes in, he's getting nice pace and carry here. It's a wide, maybe just swinging a wee bit too much out of the hand. Well bowled. That's a great length. Lovely length.
We'll come back for Charlie Pallow after a couple of wides in the over, but I think St Wands will be reasonably happy with that. 4, 5, 6, 7 off the over.
Yeah, 7 off as that rate's just start creeping up into the 11s in that dangerous region of sort of 11s to 13s, where you're sort of looking at staring down the barrel of 2 boundaries in the over.
Going back to boundary sizes, Dan, I was out there in The Hague with where you were involved with the Jersey squad. Boundaries there seem to be absolutely massive for international cricket, and it worried me a little bit in our game against Guernsey that the size of those boundaries was going to preclude either side really having the firepower to hit. Well, he couldn't reach the boundary along the ground because we'd had rain around, so the outfield was slow and it was difficult to hit 4s. but the boundary was also so huge, it was really difficult to hit sixes, and I was worried that it was going to sort of really equalise things between Jersey and Guernsey. This is as Rolly King comes in to continue a pretty impressive start.
Shot.
Pulled behind square.
Oh,
Lucky
foot stop.
Singh uses the old traditional big right foot and just to hold it back. Yeah, I was a bit concerned in that game against Guernsey, but as it turned out, we did manage to hit a couple of sixes.
Yeah.
Or certainly 3 or 4 more than Guernsey did, and that was probably the difference between the teams in the end.
Yeah, quite strange ground dimensions in the Hague there. It was sort of we discussed plans at the start of the week and the way that the grounds were set up and the sort of weather that was around, and we'd had a bit of intel about the wickets that they were going to be sort of used a wee bit slow, going to take some turns. So ground dimensions wise and what we had as wickets, we were sort of looking at that it wasn't going to be a complete 6 off as Rolly King comes in and bowls inside.
Come on, you have to run hard here. Is it going to reach? It's not going to reach. It's not going to reach. There. Lucky Singh sprinting after it. They're going to get the third. Come on. No. Surely there should have been 3 there. Richard Anthony, even at the age of 67 or whatever he is now, it's a bit unfair. I think he might be in his late 40s, but he could have gotten back for 3 there. I'm sure he could have done. He'd like to have shown his little 60-yard sprints. Good for you, Richard.
But yeah, the sort of ground dimensions of it, they were a little bit shorter straight than they were square, and we discussed that we don't think it's going to be one of them six hitting T20 tournaments where you're looking around and balls blasting all over the park. I think with the wickets being quite tricky to bat on and the massive ground dimensions, it was sort of discussed at the start of the week that the team that, sounds very cliche, but the team that sort of gets the most 2s and 3s are going to win the fixture, and that played its part throughout the whole tournament, every game that we watched, and the data that implied that the team that definitely ran the best were going to come out on top. It's another good over from Rolly King.
Richard Anthony's rocked back there and tried to give himself the opportunity to get that over behind square for 4, but just quite got the muscle power, and again no boundary off the over. 44 off 8. Very long at just over 5s.
I reckon your win viz might be creeping down for Chirpies here, Wardy J.
I might have been a little bit optimistic to them anyway to the start, to be totally honest. Here comes Charlie Pallow for his second. Went for 7 off the first with a couple of wides there. So can he tighten up his line?
Nice,
and can Richard Anthony demonstrate another one of those? Ooh, no,
doesn't quite
get hold of that. I thought for a second he'd smashed it, but it went nowhere.
He's bowling a nice length here, Charlie Pallow. I mean, it's that sort of back of a length that's just not too easy to swing through the line of. Looks like there might still be a little bit of swing there with that breeze. Oh, he's run too far.
This time he has cleared mid-off with a very, very nice shot indeed. That's exactly what he tried to do the ball before. Didn't really get hold of it at all, but that was an excellent shot and a very, very welcome boundary to Richard Anthony, who moves on to run a ball pretty much off 25 deliveries. So he's doing a job. He's doing a job for Chirpies.
Yeah, just a touch full there from Charlie Pallow. He's managed to free up his hands and go over mid-off, which Rolly King sort of came herring in from mid-off, and it's just cleared him by about a foot.
Now, I was up early this morning, Dan, listening intently to the local weather forecast that definitely said there's 100% that it was... he's played that same shot a third time in a row. This time mid-off has gone back to long off, so he's only ever really going to get one there, which sure enough he does. Richard Anthony getting a full practice on that shot. Yeah, so the weather forecast was absolutely adamant that about midday it was going to chuck it down for a while, and then mid-afternoon we're going to have sort of thundery showers turning to prolonged rain later in the day. That's we've now got Tim Peach having a go at that same shot, and this one is lobbed in the air, but again only for a single.
Definitely trying to kick on here, Chirpies, which is good to see.
Yeah, they've got to have a go at this stage.
Yeah.
And, they've got some batsmen in the closet who probably want to have their little day in the sun, and it's the sun is shining at the moment.
Back to that weather forecast, I mean, as part of my job here as head groundsman at the National Cricket Centre at Granville. I mean, I literally find myself spending most of my days staring at different weather forecasts and which one's most accurate and weather radars and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, I was the same as you. I was sort of waking up this morning thinking that I'd be staring at the covers that were on overnight. Where's that gone? Oh, out to long on. Definitely starting to have a swing at this here, Chirpies. But yeah, to my pleasant surprise, I sort of got up here early doors this morning to a fair bit of wind and not too much rain, which is good. Just allowing us to get this first game in unaffected, and fingers crossed that then them scattered showers sort of slide north of us, which has happened all day.
Oh, he's pushed that one well outside off stump, and that is going to be a wide. So this is turning into a reasonable over from Chirpy's perspective. 8 off it so far. On ball to come.
Oh, well bowled.
Ah, good comeback. Good comeback from the young lad. 9 overs gone.
That's a lovely length. So yeah, I think we are going to want to see that man that we were discussing earlier, Tom Kearns. I think if they want a chance of getting up to a decent total here, I think someone like Tom Kearns with that firepower who can clear the ropes. I mean, we've seen it in the T10. Can't actually remember what team he was playing for, maybe Central Commanders or something like that, but he bowls with a serious pace off 3 yards. I mean, it's something that as kids we used to fear on a mat on Evening League when he sort of came in off 3 yards, chucking them down there at decent licks and sort of whacking it all over the park. He's always had nice bits of willow and always been that guy that's cleared the ropes and bowled decent pace, so he's definitely one to look out for if he does manage to get a bat for the Chirpies line up here as Roddy in and bowls. Another dot.
Yeah, I think we don't want to die wondering here, do we? We want to know what Tom Kearns might do. I mean, there's already an awful lot of pressure on him when he does come in. But he's probably the one man, from my knowledge of Chirpies, that you know, if he has a day in a day of his year, day of the decade, a bit like the Adam Haywood knock yesterday, if he had one of those innings, well then maybe, just maybe, there might be a bit of a challenge on. Ball's very wide of the crease there, Rolly King. That might have been quite close to a back foot no ball, but Tim Peach manages to get it back over the bowler's head.
They fielded very well here. SOS.
They look organised, don't they? They look like they know what they're doing. Well drilled side.
Lovely shot. Cut out
Bowling very
point.
wide, isn't he? The stumps.
Yeah. I suppose he's just trying to create that difficult angle to hit out to that boundary rope with the wind today. Once again. Oh,
big swing.
This big Jupesy goes down from short fine to pick that one up. Moves well, Jupesy. Hopefully he goes back.
Big lad, but he's got great timing, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Charlie Lekelinek. He's a lovely striker of the ball. I don't know if you've seen him on the golf course ever.
I haven't actually been lucky enough to play with him. They usually don't invite me, them boys, Adam Haywood and Big Jupesy. I don't get invited into their little golf days, but I mean, we got to see, we discussed quite a lot yesterday. It's a misfield.
Dear. And
that's going to help Chirpies.
Lucky gets not quite so lucky there, and the ball cannons off his knee, instep, thigh, and rolls over the line for a much needed boundary for Chirpies.
Just as we were discussing how well St. Ones have fielded, we've just seen a little mishap out there, deep square where...
First one though, really, to be totally honest with you, the whole innings, that's after 10 overs, so yeah, I think that's the difference between, well, one of the differences between the sides.
I think at this halfway point now, I think we've been discussing it all day really, but it might just be time for people to start kicking on here and trying to take some of those risks that we were talking about. I mean, the batters in the hutch will be very disappointed if they don't get to come out and have a swing when they're sort of 61 for 1. After 10, I think they can start taking a few of them risks down now and start letting some other boys come in and try and see if they can clear the ropes instead.
Yeah, you don't want to die wondering here, do you? This is their Chirpies, as I mentioned before. These are my terms, but it's a bit like their final here. And there's not much point in limping to 100 for 3. You may as well be all out going for it. Going to get a wide there. To bowl that one again. Charlie Pallow.
It's going to do well to get away with that, I think.
Yeah, he's overcompensated there. Somewhere between those two, Charlie, I think.
When he gets it right, it's been difficult to hit. Charlie Pallow, 18 for none off his 2. With the bulk of those runs coming from extras. And then bowls and oh no.
That's his hat trick. This loader goes scuttling down the leg side.
He's moving well, Loads. He's moving real well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he'd be too happy with young Charlie Pallow making him dive around at his ripe young age.
Talk of committed cricketers, Ed Loader, what a job he does for both St Juan's reserves team. Also, he gets called up for the first from time to time. Absolutely wholehearted. Never let you down.
No.
I know he's played quite a bit of. I mean, he's had the privilege of opportunity to play some MCC cricket, and he's quite prepared to travel all over the UK to get games in. He's been to Guernsey and Sark to play cricket matches. He'll do absolutely anything that's asked of him, and he's about to become a dad as well. So there's no stopping the boy, really. Amazing.
No, I mean he's been very privileged in some of the bowlers that he's got to keep to as well. I mean he must have kept a Kaka that's Anthony Hawkins K, old Jersey bowler, who absolute hell of a bowler, and the amount of times that I've seen Loads take balls to the chest at Kennebec 1 is ridiculous, but he never stops him from keeping showing up, and he, absolute stalwart of the game. As you said before, he's a great club man. He'll do anything for his club, and as you say,
of course, you mentioned Anthony Hawkins K there, who is actually his brother-in-law. So, and the K family, fine sports men and women all round. Tasha K, Ed's wife, top quality Jersey hockey player, and I know she's played a bit of cricket as well.
Full toss, which is whipped off the
That's
legs.
a full toss from Charlie Pallow. This has turned into a good over here for Chirpies. It's been, as well as all those wides. Yeah, he's going to be tired by the end of this one. So going back to the Ed Loader story, child on the way, part of the Loader K gene pool. Who knows? There could be another cricketer coming through.
It would be nice. It would be nice to see one of them with a Jersey shirt.
Oh,
on
good
again.
shot.
Lovely
Good shot again. That's a lovely shot by
Yeah,
Richard
true.
Anthony. He's clipped 2 away off his legs there, consecutive deliveries.
Lovely over.
So Chirpies have taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 16 off this over. This is what they needed. They really
That's
did.
exactly what they needed. It just creeps that rate up to 7s, I think, as we were saying earlier, of your estimated total of 120 that they'd probably be quite happy with. I think if they sort of get this up to in and around 100 with Tom Kern still to come in, you never know. Could we see one of them knocks that we seen yesterday? Another wide.
That's going to be a wide, is it? No, he's still umpires. I think the umpire's gone for the sympathy vote. Oh, no, he's not.
No,
Very
he's
well.
not
He's
forgotten.
changed his mind. He's picked the ball up, thrown it back to the bowler, which is a bit unusual,
couple
and
of,
then given a wide.
Couple of exaggerated coughs coming from. Oh no!
And this could be danger as well. This could be a
Oh my!
square leg given a no ball. No, the standing umpire has given a no ball, 4 runs, 3 hits. So this over is turning into, after we were saying how well Charlie Pallow had bowled, he's had a bit of a shocker here, I'm afraid, Dan. And we're running out of space on our screen for this over.
Indeed, it's going to be a long one, and as the lad just come whipping across there to deep square leg, it looked like he sort of jarred his knee there. Didn't look too good at all.
Oh, I didn't see that. That doesn't look that pretty. John T. Waite, who's One of those ones, we've seen a couple of those today with the wet conditions, so this is no criticism of the ground staff at all, but the slightly soft ground, and when you go for that slide, if your knee doesn't slide and it digs in, there can be all sorts of horrible injuries, as we remember from Simon Jones at Brisbane, was it? Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, I think it was at Brisbane. Yeah, he sort of dug his knee into the ground. That was a bit of a strange one though, because he didn't go knees first. He sort of slipped on his heels. And as he sort of slipped on his heels, it looked like his knee had just sort of hyperextended and jarred a little bit, but not too sure if he's more embarrassed and he's just trying to weather it as his teammates go up and make sure he's all good. But a couple of kicks and a few stomps there, it looks like he's moving a little bit better than he was when he was rolling around on the floor a couple of seconds ago.
Yeah, look at that. He's fine. He's a young lad. He'll be okay. As this over continues now, Dan, your eyesight's better than mine. You add up how many runs we've had of this over.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Ooh. And the free hit.
11, 15, 16. What is that? 5 no balls. What's that? 22, 23, 21? No idea. I've just
okay. Well, 20 plus anyway.
Let's just say 20 plus.
20 plus over.
You're asking the wrong man for some maths, Wardy.
Sorry,
cutting grass and
was
rolling wickets.
Bit of a test for you there. There's trigonometry coming up next, and there'll be a geography lesson to come. No, that was tough on the young lad there, because he's bowled a good spell up to that over, but that really didn't go according to plan. But it does make the game a bit more interesting here. Chirpies suddenly might be thinking, a little sniff here.
All over, he'll be knackered. Rolly King comes
What's that
back
done to
on.
your win viz, Bizzer?
I'm not too sure, to be perfectly honest with you. I still want to give Chirpies a good chance. But yeah, as we said earlier, there's that run rate creeping up to 11s, and to be perfectly honest, we still haven't seen Tom Kearns, who we've been looking forward to seeing all day. And
he's got to come in next, surely.
I think if they get this up to 100 for 1 after 12 with Tom Kearns still in there, you never know. Sort of, we'll need 80 off the last 8, going at 10s.
To be fair, it's not a similar situation to what it felt like yesterday in the St Juan's chase against the OVs, where watching the game at home and listening to the dulcet tones of Dan Birrell on commentary, I was sitting at home doing my ironing, thinking to myself, well, this is nice and comfortable for the OVs. It can't go wrong, can't go wrong, can't go wrong. And then, of course, suddenly something strange happens. So who's to say that Tom Kearns, or maybe somebody else, but we keep saying Tom Kearns, comes in, absolutely smashes one, has a day of the decade, and suddenly Chirpies make it. I mean, it might be the realms of fantasy. Who knows?
Oh,
nice,
that's
a good
shot.
pick
Is
up.
he going to get the foot stop
Is
out?
Lucky going to do this one? Oh, he didn't look too confident, but he thrust his hands up.
Pinched another run out of it though.
It was more the ball hit his hand than he fielded it really. But
I think they'll be pretty happy in the sheds here as it starts getting a bit more vocal for the Chirpies boys on the sidelines. I think, as we discussed, I think if they're sort of looking at their batting lineup, thinking that we still haven't had Tom Kearns to go out. I know we keep saying his name, but he's someone that definitely strikes balls as Loads just cleans that one up and moves extremely well, like a little crab behind the stumps there. He's looking light on his feet, he's looking good.
When you say a little crab, what is that sort of? Would you say spider or shanker?
I would say shanker.
Yeah, I think
big claws.
I think he's a big shanker. Oh,
Top
talking
edge.
of which, top edge. Oh, it's not gone anywhere near mid loader. This will be amazing. Ooh.
I don't even know if he had any skin on that. Big dupes. I think he'll be claiming no skin, no drop. But after we was talking about how well he's been moving this game, he's not moved particularly well there.
I was also going to say what nice soft hands he has, generally speaking, but it doesn't help how soft they are if you don't even touch the ball. So that goes down as a slightly missed opportunity as Rowley pushes that one out too far outside off stump, and we're back to the wide situation. So
Big Loads, another clean-up job behind the stumps there. He's looking good.
6 off this over. Chirpies just refusing to die down. Well bowled. That's a good comeback from Rowley King, and all that Richard Anthony can do is drop his back down on it.
Nice bowler, King Rowley. I think someone's definitely going to have to kick on it. I mean, our mate Richard's going to be looking to seal up his 50 here off 42 balls if he can. Has he kept the strike? No, he's not kept the strike. So, I mean, Tim's job's just going to be to simply get off strike.
Yeah,
and his mate gets
Tim's
to his 50
going along
here.
at slightly less than a run a ball here, and Richard Anthony's going at slightly more than a run a ball, but they're going to need more than that, with the run rate creeping up towards 12. So someone is going to have to inject some life into this, notwithstanding the fact that in the last couple of overs we have seen a bit of a Chirpies revival.
Indeed, I think this has sort of been the case across all games. So those sort of slow starts with trying to backload your innings as a nice bowler in the SOS captain Robbie Forrest steps up.
Yeah, Robbie Forrest could tighten things up here. But there again, there'll be a bit of extra pace on the ball for Richard Anthony to utilise perhaps. Indeed, as he gets near to his 50. Slight discrepancy on our cards against the score.
I feel
board,
like he's
anyway, he's near to 50 one way or the other.
Shot.
And that's Peach with I'm not going to say a peach of a shot, but not a bad shot.
I feel like, as you just said,
other fruits are available.
With a bit more pace on the ball, with Robbie with a sort of wide, deep third man and a short, fine leg in the form of Big Charlie the Kelneck. I feel like a fine nick down towards us is a great result as he dabs that towards point. And is he going to get his 50? Yeah.
Well, that's 50 according to us.
But we don't know.
But there's not any applause from his teammates because the scoreboard says otherwise.
Yeah, well.
But either way, it's been a good knock from Richard Anthony, rolling back the years.
Maybe we'll wait for his peers to clap him before we give him any credit in case he gets himself out.
Peach, oh, what a good effort that is. He's picked that up from nowhere and deposited over mid-wicket for a much-needed 6. Good effort, actually, out at deep mid-wicket. For one moment, you thought you were going to see a worldie of a catch, but well, I'm going to say it was a peach of a shot. That was.
Indeed, really, I think Robbie Forrest is going to be. He's going to be stood at the top of his mark here, sort of. If he goes for another boundary, regretting those 25 beers that he drank last night to drown his sorrows after the SOS defeat in the first semi-final. Well, the first game of the day. I think he's sort of hands on head, and he'll be blowing a wee bit here. Gonna have to put it back.
Ooh, that's a good response there. He's rather predictably dug that in a little bit short, a little bit of an extra effort ball, and he's managed to hit Tim Peach in a soft area. Nevertheless, the Chirpies recovery continues.
Dare I say it, Wardy J, but it's definitely on for someone to come in and play a worldie of a knock like we've seen yesterday from that man stood over there, Adam Haywood.
Oh, and he's done it again.
Swivels on this for
one bounce.
One bounce
four, but well played, Tim Peach. I think he knew that was coming. You know, Robbie Forrester's gander is up, and he's tried to slip in another short ball at the body, but Tim Peach has got inside the line and really cuffed that away quite nicely.
Lovely shot.
One bounce four.
That's
and the 100 up.
Another good over for Chirpies here. If they keep going with this sort of rate, could we see it?
Oh, he stepped away again. Oh my goodness, he really has got hold of that as well. That was
sort of gone from
very close to 6, I think.
10 off 15 balls here.
Given 4.
Moves on to 25 off 20. Tim Peach with some pretty emphatic shots there, but yeah, that swivel pull was probably the shot of that over as they start creeping up. Strike rate 125, 2 4s, 1 6. Moves them up to that 25 off 20 from 10 off 15.
Well, so much for my revised target of 120. I think Chirpies are going to go sail past that now, and who knows? It's a funny old game. And again, going back to what we saw yesterday, if that was to happen again, well, you'd be thinking it's unusual for lightning to strike twice at Grainville on consecutive days.
Well, never say
unusual,
die.
But
some shouts of some praying for rain here as they creep a run past the DLS par on the scoreboard.
Good spot, Dan. Yes. So
I'm
technically, if there was a huge deluge right at this moment, which looks fairly unlikely, bearing in mind the ground is basked in beautiful sunshine, and the wind has died down a touch, it's still breezy. But anyway, it's not going to rain. But if it did, right at this moment, Chirpies would take the win. And they're very happy about that. And fair play to them. Change of bowler from the pavilion end. Oh, a good start.
I think
Jonty Waite has recovered from that slightly worrying knee incident an over or so ago.
There we go.
And there's a 50
the claps.
for Richard Anthony, or celebrated as 50 anyway at the grounds.
I mean, this is definitely an over that Chirpies are going to have to look to take down. Spinner bowling, sort of spinning it to that short side with a breeze as he bowls a honking delivery that pitches halfway down and outside
Slightly
the
strange
wide line.
bowling action is from Jonty Waite. I'm sure this has nothing to do with his injury on his knee, but he starts off looking like a sort of classic off-break bowl, and then his delivery stride, he sort of squats down and bowls it from about 2'6". Watch this. Oh.
My word.
Anyway, in the meantime, old Peachy bashes that away for 4 through mid-wicket. Can Chirpies keep ahead on the Duckworth Lewis at the end of this over as well? I would imagine at the moment they possibly can. We will report back at the end of the over, as Dan has a look at the radar, which is the... Oh my goodness. Oh, he's hit that reasonably well, straight down the ground, then he can be a single.
It's looking like there's not anything that the Chirpies would have been hoping for on the radars. Sort of 2 big clouds slip either side of the island.
Yeah, but irrespective of the rain, the Duckworth Lewis is always quite interesting to just work out how you're doing against, not technically the run rate, obviously, because it's where you would have to be if the rain came. But it does give you an indication of what sort of progress you're making. Let's put it that way.
I think they need to be careful here, SOS, in regards to, as you just said about them, sort of creeping ahead of that DLS. Is usually a perfect indicator of where you're at in the game, as you said, as he skies one and
got away with that.
Moves extremely well down to that fine leg boundary. Interesting over this from Jonty. As you say, crazy action, but it's somewhat effective here as he goes for one boundary, but they definitely need another one here. Chirpies just creep ahead on that rate. Not a terrible result as it's hit out to the SOS captain Robbie Forrest.
I think from here, irrespective of what the result of this game is, I think Chirpies will be fairly happy with their day out, really. I think there was a few rumblings of discontent about some of the qualifications of certain players for St Wands, and that's down to the administrators. That's not for us to debate. But obviously there was 2 players who made a sizable impact in yesterday's game in the Premiership, and they're playing again here in Division 1. Anyway, that's what Chirpies' case is. But the fact of the matter is irrespective of that, Chirpies are going to come away here with, whatever happens, a pretty decent performance. And I think they can be quite proud of their efforts and feel that their season's been a very, very worthwhile one, especially when we go back to what we're talking about the development of new players, perhaps players that have come from non-traditional cricketing backgrounds, which like you, Dan, actually I'm a bit in favour of that. I mean, some people won't believe me, but I came from certainly primary school somewhere that never played cricket whatsoever, so I never picked a cricket bat up until I was 12, which is relatively late for compared to a lot of the people I ended up playing with. So the point I'm trying to make is that I'm a big fan of anybody who brings this great game into schools, and for individuals who maybe wouldn't have had the opportunity to the exposure to the game without them. So once again, well done to Chirpies for everything they've achieved, but well done to the other clubs as well, particularly Walkovers this year, who I know go into the schools and really, really look after the youngsters extremely well, and they've got a great pipeline of young players coming through. So all those people involved in development of young cricketers, girls and boys, hats off to them.
Yeah, I think looking at trends of the game at the minute, where you look at the programmes that are happening in the UK, as he swivels on this one to Dupes down at short fine leg. Trends in the game at the minute with the new Stokes Night Cup, which is the public school, well, I don't know which way it works in the UK, but yeah, the non-private schools in the UK in a schools competition that get to play at Lords and being supported by the MCC and sort of Michael Vaughan that's looked to start it up. similar programs happening here with Chirpies Cricket Club and walkovers with a massive junior section. I mean, Brad Votio and the team at Walkovers has done a similar job to James Cornt, really, of really pushing that junior section, trying to get more people on that pathway to playing this lovely game, which is so class to see. I mean, I'm a Walkovers lad, and I couldn't be any more thankful to them boys for giving me the opportunities to play the game at a young age against decent opposition. And the team that I was sort of welcomed into and still play for now is massive. And I hope that these Chirpies lads enjoy every minute of their day. And as we say, we might get to see in the next couple of years as the first fruit of their labour in Luke Bozio.
Yeah,
maybe joining in with the
absolutely.
men's side in a few years.
In the meantime,
that's a great catch.
St Wands have perhaps predictably brought back Adam Haywood after a couple of overs which have really brought Chirpies back into the game. In fact, we said we were going to bring you the Duckworth-Lewis score at the end of the last over, didn't we? And actually Chirpies do still stay ahead. Technically, there are 4 runs over the Duckworth-Lewis par of 112 at the end of the previous over. But in the meantime, Adam Haywood's been brought back into the attack. He can very likely to tighten things up, as you would have expected. And not only has he tightened things up, he's also just dismissed Tim Peach for a excellent 31 off 25, featuring a couple of swivel pulls, which I'm sure he'll be going to bed tonight remembering those shots. And well done him. He looks like he's enjoyed his efforts. And we have the sparkling orange boots of Tom Kearns, who has the princely sum of 5.5 overs to influence this game. It's not going to be at all easy, but nothing's impossible. He is against his nemesis, Adam Haywood here, who's going to be triggered to get away. I
think if Chirpies ever any chance of getting close to this total that SOS have set out, I think this man here, we've discussed it quite a lot today, must have heard his name a fair few times on this stream this afternoon, even the afternoon yet, I think it is. But yeah, Tom Kearns is going to have to get going from ball 1 here. If
there's a lot of pressure on him, so let's not make too many expectations. Oh, someone's just decided to wander behind the sight screen with their... well, in front of the sight screen with their dog. So Tom Kearns is taking a bit of time out while that's sorted out. Now, because with that wicket falling, I think you can be fairly certain the Duckworth-Lewis par is going to go up quite dramatically at the end of this over. So I suspect Chirpies are going to be quite well behind. And Kearns has predictably thrown the kitchen sink at ball 1 and got a top edge over Overloader. Overloader, that's good, isn't it?
Nice, that. Really nice.
Anyway, if he'd have got hold of that could have gone a long way, but it went down to 3rd, where a single's taken, as the Farmers team turn up for this afternoon's encounter. Dave Buxton. Now, I've got a story about Dave Buxton I'm going to tell in a moment. Bit of a legend of the game.
Hero.
Haywood in to Richard Anthony, who has a swing, gets
He's
it back over the bowler's head.
At mid-off.
He's going to get a couple here.
Good running. It's good running.
Richard Anthony's going to be feeling this. He's no spring chicken, even though he looks pretty fit.
The 68-year-old.
Well, no, let's be fair. I was being a bit naughty there. He's into the 50s, runs-wise. Probably age-wise as well. Nah, maybe. Not sure. Maybe. Yeah, probably.
I doubt that he'd have a Wikipedia page that we can sort of check up on. Might be able to ask some bystanders. Shot.
That's a good shot from Anthony, but he's only going to pick out long off. Good running from Tom Kearns, comes back for the second. So probably, honours there to St Wands with Adam Haywood picking up that wicket, but 4, 5, 6 runs off it. I'm going to look at the Duckworth-Lewis par now, as that wicket will quite dramatically affect it, so we'll just report back. But 121 for 2 of 15. There we go. And Duckworth-Lewis par now is 122. So, in spite of all that, we're still spot on.
Yep.
So Dave Buxton's just turned up to play in the final game for Farmers. Now, he's been a bit of a legend of over 50s cricket, which I'm involved in, and he's sadly, but maybe predictably, announced after our last over 50s game at the Farmers Field on Thursday that he's decided to hang up his boots and hang up his tattered old gloves. But he'll be a great loss. I mean, he's played for such a long while and he's a consistent performer. Great bloke to have round the team, and as well as his vast cricketing experience, the best man in the team if you need to anything about bird life and wildlife. He knows absolutely everything. Oh, he's more than that. He's one of the very few licensed people on the island to ring birds. So he can catch birds and he can ring them and monitor all their flight paths. And there is nothing that he doesn't know about birds. I'll give you an example of that in a moment. Jonty Waite comes on to continue his right arm over.
This could
left
be a
leg
nice
bent.
matchup. Nice matchup for
Bowling.
Tom
This is going to be
Kearns,
interesting. Yeah, Kearns has got to go target this right from ball one, I suggest.
Can he squeeze
He's only going to get one out
needs the strike.
deep
Tom
cover.
Kearns.
Now, I don't think Richard Anthony, bless him, has quite got the power to reach this leg side boundary, which really Chirpies' last chance here is to target this off the last 5 overs. So I think Anthony's got to take the single here. And now I've said
He's
that.
made you eat your words.
Oh my goodness, that was a child killer shot. I should explain when I say that had there been any children in the play area, they've got a little net protecting kids who are playing there, which unfortunately, well, it did its job there actually, but if it hit it about 3 inches higher, it would have been really quite potentially nasty. But anyway, the point of the matter is it went for 6.
Oh my God, he's done it again. And here we
He's
go
done
then.
it again. I hope he doesn't listen back to my commentary saying that I don't think he can reach the boundary, because he's just done it twice in 2 balls.
I think they'll definitely be looking. I think this is a massively important over. We usually look at this sort of over 16 and 17 region. If you're sort of slipping behind the rate, that you need to make use of this 16th, 17th. Usually,
is that because you know that probably the best bowlers are going to come back at the death?
yeah. Usually, I mean, you're looking at their sort of the rotation of bowlers, and I probably wouldn't have bowled Jonty Waite here with him turning it with the bat into the leg side.
Because this is Chirpie's
wind.
only chance is to take that boundary on, and I thought it was going to be Tom Kearns, but actually Richard Anthony's done it twice in a row. He's pushed that miles outside off stump, so there wasn't a chance to do that.
Clever bowling. And I think Tom Kearns is going to be looking to line him up again here.
He's got to go for it, hasn't he?
Yeah, definitely. I think this is sort of if you're looking at them last 2 balls of the 16th, I mean, I wouldn't exactly say it was a free hit, but it's definitely the best chance he's going to get.
And then to be fair to Tom, he's only
start.
just come in, hasn't he? You know, it's all very well. It sounds easy from here.
Goes straight.
He's done it. Oh my goodness!
Stuck. That is a hell of an effort from Adam Haywood, the star man.
From Haywood to take an incredible catch there, one-handed, with the ball almost over the boundary rope. It would have been a breathtaking catch and would have put the cherry on the icing of the cake of his weekend. But he didn't quite grab it, and it just fell over the line. It is 6 runs to Tom Kearns. Could that be a game-changing moment? What a great effort from Adam Haywood, though. I mean, it really was a magnificent effort.
It made that noise where it made me think that it was going to stick.
Yeah, I know what you mean, that noise. Oh, hello.
Sweat. Well fielded. It's a good run.
Hit the one man patrolling backward a square. That could so easily have been 4 runs, but
not a bad result though, having Tom Kearns on strike here with the firepower to probably the only man to be able to clear that leg side boundary from that far end into the breeze. Hits a long ball, so I think he'll be looking to kick on here as they sort of creep that rate below 10s for the first time since the start of play.
And we've been looking at the Duckworth-Lewis all the way through here, and I know this is not essential, so don't get carried away with this, listeners, because Duckworth-Lewis is not going to come into play. Although, having said that, I'm looking out to the west, and in the distance it really does look a little bit dodgy, but that's a good half an hour away or so it's not going to influence or impact this game. However, 142, and we're just looking at the replay here of that incredible effort from Haywood right in front of us. Wow, great camera work from the team. Anyway, sorry, just going back to that point, 142 for 2.
shot.
And
Needs to get up.
Kearns has done it. He has managed to beat long off. I'll tell you what. What happened yesterday, I didn't believe as I was watching it on my television at home, worried about Dan Birrell's barber. And now I'm just beginning to wonder, could we see the same thing happen again? Because that's 6 runs for Tom Kearns, who moves on to 15 off 5, which is exactly what the sort of innings that we were talking about and Chirpies needed. And it's Haywood bowling.
It's fine. Is he going to get the foot stop out? Oh, he's done well. Nice bit of work.
Lucky manages to stop that. Just a single. Now, can Richard Anthony continue that vein of form from the last over with those incredible 6s, which made me eat humble pie? Well done, Richard.
I mean, if I was Richard, I'd be looking to get off strike.
Get off the strike and get Tom Kearns back on, agreed. Oh, has he pushed that too far outside off stump? Yes, he has.
He's not going to be happy with that, Adam, I don't think.
I tell you what, if Chirpies pull this off, there'll be some absolutely ecstatic Chirpies players, because they were so disgruntled when they came off. Captain James Corn, I won't use his exact expressions, but he was spitting feathers about what he perceived to be the injustice of certain selections in the St Juan side, which may or may not include this bowler, Adam Haywood, who comes in and is treated with disdain. But Anthony, after a fine innings, has picked out the man deep on the mid-wicket boundary, who makes a very straightforward catch look extremely simple. Richard Anthony departs. That was a good effort from him, the old man of the sea, the veteran for Chirpies. 70 runs of 52.
Now this is a man that can strike the ball. My captain of the Trafalgar Pirates, my evening league team, he's another man for Jersey Sport. He sort of looks after the rugby side, and he's
well battered. Richard Anthony is the crowd give him a well-earned ovation. Well done.
Yeah. Fellow groundsman.
Let's hope he doesn't listen to my commentary. Yeah, sorry.
Fellow groundsman.
Yeah.
Miles Landick, he puts so much time and effort into the rugby club, and he's doing some serious work up there with the junior section and the Jersey Reds Athletic, but they're not called the Athletic anymore. It's just Jersey Rugby Club that are
well done. Well corrected yourself there, Dan. I like that.
Back through the ranks, but yeah, in evening league cricket, Milo hits.
You're one of few men who can have a conversation with yourself, I notice, which is lovely to hear. But yeah, everything you say, quite right about Milo and what he does at Jersey Rugby. I mean, I don't want to sort of praise you too much, but what you're doing here is something that he's been doing at the rugby club. Different game, different circumstances, but similar in terms of the impressive results. And Milo, first ball, shows his aggressive intent, but only gets 1, but he hits it well, straight down the ground. That'll give him a little bit of confidence. He also was voicing a few concerns at the innings break about certain individuals who may or may not have been selected for St Juan, so he'll be very, very keen to right what he might feel to be an injustice here. But either way, what a great effort from Chirpies. What can Kearns do into the over?
Shot, that's huge.
He's picked that up. That's gone a long way. That's going to be someone's going to have to go and fetch that ball. It's gone just short of the bowling club roof, and I can't use my line about surprising someone who's playing indoor bowls with a big bang on the ceiling. I can't use that one, unfortunately, because it hasn't quite reached there, but it's gone over the hedge, those of you that know Grainville, and into the big gutter down there, so someone's going to have to do a bit of ball fetching. In the meantime, Kearns moves on to a very rapid 22 off 7, and we are seeing something of a miracle here.
Yeah, I think Adam Haywood's getting a bit of a taste of his own medicine here after he parked a few people onto that said bowls roof last night, which Tom Kearns is looking to target. I think we discussed Tom Kearns earlier on. I'm glad that he's proven us right with this serious knock of 22 off 7 with 3 sixes, striking
Any surprises
at 314.
that he didn't maybe come in after over number 10? I mean, I know it's only a 20 over game, but the amount you can influence the game in 5 overs, which he already is showing that he can do, imagine what he might have done in 10, but maybe he won't be needed.
No, I think the lads have set the game up pretty nicely here. We've sort of taken a swing away from the ball. It is a different ball to yesterday, as most of you eagle-eyed people would have noticed. The screens have changed colour to white, and the boys are playing in whites with the red pill. So, I mean, the swing does typically last a wee bit longer with that red ball. stays a wee bit harder for the lads coming in towards this back end of the innings, where Tom Kearns is looking to exploit the bowlers. But I think they've done a serious job. I mean, if you look at that, 70 off 52 balls, 13 off 17, 31 off 25. I mean, some decent knocks in there to get them up to this total. And I think if my win viz was on, which we asked about earlier, with a 20% to Chirpies, I think it'd be looking at a pretty decent swing here, I reckon.
Yeah, I think you might be right. And I mean, and on that note, as I look over to the west and see that rather grim-looking sky for game number 2, although having said that, I'm looking to the sort of northwest, so maybe that might be skirting past us. Let's hope so. But anyway, I'm looking at the scoreboard to look at the Duckworth Lewis, and at the moment Chirpy's on 157 for 3 off 16. The Duckworth Lewis par score at this stage is 133, so they're well in the ascendancy if you go by that. Of course, it doesn't mean anything because the target is not 133, the target is 180, but 4 overs.
I think if Tom Kearns
24.
can either maintain the strike here with a 1 or finish off with a boundary to sort of get
well, it's
into
only a
that
run of
region.
ball though, Dan, really, and with the field set back, I mean, I don't think for 1 second that Tom Kearns is going to be interested in ones.
Oh, he was charging down.
Tom Kearns is up for it. That's a good ball from Haywood to finish the over, and good fielding from Robbie Forrest. As we said earlier on, though, in the commentary, the trouble is now that St Wands are going to have held back some big guns to bowl these final few overs, and that is only 3 overs to go now. Sorry, I was looking at the board thinking that's the end of the over. So there's only 3 overs to go now. 18 balls, 24 runs. So it's over a run a ball. So you're going to have to hit a couple of boundaries, but that's not going to be so easy with Robbie Forrest coming in from the pavilion end. And my guess is, Dan, what do you think? But my guess is he's going to stick this quite well outside off stump to try and protect that leg side boundary.
Clever bowler, Robbie Forrest. I think if he sticks to his plan here of hiding it outside off stump, I don't think it's actually a great plan to Milo, because I feel like Milo is just going to look to get off strike here and give TK a shout of trying to clear that leg side rope with a wind. But I think, if he does hide it off stump,
he's going to clearly bowl outside off stump because he's got a 5-4 offside field.
He's just pulled deep square into the ring.
Deep square's come into the ring, and Adam Haywood is going to go back to that position where he nearly took that worldy catch a moment ago.
He's very straight. He sort of stood on the side.
Very straight. So there are holes on the leg side if you can whip it through. Oh, and Robbie Forrest has done exactly what his captain's asked him. Seemed to keep a bit low, that one, actually, but it's gone through, and it's not going to say it's knocked middle stump out the ground, because it hasn't.
I think it might have hit him on the elbow and then rolled
Do you
onto
reckon?
the wicket.
Okay, yeah, it seemed to hit the stumps low down, so it must have come off something.
Hopefully we get a replay so we can have a look, so I can assess and see if this wicket's starting to get tired.
I didn't want to say that. I was going to say rubbish wicket is, Dan. If that's kept low, you need a decent groundsman here, but no, I'll be interested to know. As the captain, James Cornt, experienced cricketer, great cricket story to his backstory is quite something which maybe not everybody knows about. Milo comes off, and there we are. We just heard from Milo that Dan Birrell's eyesight's better than mine. If he bowled me, it'd be all right, but it hit me first. So it obviously came off a certain part of his anatomy. We don't know quite where yet. Dan Birrell reckons his elbow, but he wasn't really rubbing his elbow, which I think he would have been if he had been hit there.
I think he's quite a hard man, though, Milo, after
a fair
few years of being in that Jersey pack.
So here comes James Cornt with a mountain to climb.
It's well bowled. It's
well
good
bowled,
leg.
Robbie Forrest. He has kept that one maybe 2 stumps off outside off stump, and Cornt's had a little bit of a fiddle at it. Ex-Nottinghamshire wicket keeper. He did keep wicket for Nottinghamshire Academy age group stuff. He went on tour with Notts. He got encouraged by Nottinghamshire to go and live and play cricket in Australia. And he's got some class about him.
It's a good
and
run.
for a lad in his over 50s now, I can tell you that I know from personal experience that the England over 50s selectors very, very interested in him potentially to be the wicketkeeper for England over 50s. They wanted him to play some CI over 50s cricket, which I've been involved with, because that would mean that he would be eligible to play for England. There's definitely a space for a really good young wicketkeeper. When I say young, it's over 50s cricket, so it's all relative. Anyway, that's another story. This is a big battle here. This is Robbie Forrest, who plays a decent level of cricket, bowling well against Tom Kearns, who is probably the strongest batsman in the Chirpies side. And that ball, Forrest keeps it wide outside off stump. Big swing from Kearns, which is what he's got to do. He's now pretending
on
to.
The wide line.
Yeah, that's. I think. Oh, he is saying there. That's interesting, and that has upset Robbie Forrest, which is hardly surprising. Oh, and now he's trying something completely different. Okay, well, that's interesting technique. Hasn't
Good
really
theatre. It's good
worked,
theatre. We've seen a lot of big moments in the games here as he's picked up two
good
there.
running there. James Corn, 50 years old. He's a whippet, that boy. And Tom Kearns manages to come back for the second, but what have we got here? Just 3 runs off this over so far, so Robbie Forrest has done the job for his side at the moment, but Chirpy's still not out of it. That's a good ball. That's right in the block hole, wide of off stump, and all Kearns can do is push that for a single.
Not a bad result. It gets to maintain the strike
Yeah,
here.
it keeps the strike, but just 2 overs to go. But I tell you what, maybe slightly to my surprise, this has been a really good game of cricket and an absolute fair play to Chirpies for hanging on in here in difficult circumstances, chasing a big total.
We got lucky
they've done
coming
well.
back on. I mean, Tom
Well-
Kearns in some serious striking form, so I think
Yeah.
he's going to have to get lucky to not go
Aha.
over the ropes.
Hey.
You like that?
I like that.
But yeah, I think a little bit easier pace for Tom Kearns to line up. I think he's going to have to do that same thing and hide it outside of his right eye. See if Tom Kearns keeps up with his theatrics of sort of standing well outside off stump. Backs himself though, TK.
Robbie Forrest is going to have the last over to bowl, and it's difficult to, I mean, that over's just gone for 2, 3, 4. Difficult to imagine if Robbie Forrest bowls well, and it'd be difficult to score 8 off the last over. So it's this over in a way, but of course, can Kearns target the offside field here, which I think with the breeze he's probably got to. Oh, hello.
Struck nicely.
Oh,
Straight down his throat.
Wow.
Oh my word, that's not a bad bit of work.
But that is excellent out there. I mean, we can't see exactly what happened, but you can pretty much be confident from the way in which he did it was that he hit the ball extremely well, straight out to the man deep on the long on boundary, who has taken the catch but realised that his momentum is going to take him over the line and managed to do that little trick. You might be able to see this on the replay.
Yes.
He's managed to throw it up to himself.
Who's out there? That's
and
Toby
take the catch.
Thurkettle out
Toby
there.
Thurkettle.
And if
That is probably a game-changing piece of fielding, and fair play to him. Well batted, Tom Kearns.
If anyone did see Toby in and around Granville after the day's play yesterday or in town in the early hours of the morning, I think you would have had money on that ball after 25 pints last night. But yes, tidy bit of work out long on.
Done a good job there for his team. I think that's going to be enough to see St Ones over the line in the end. But really good effort from Chirpies so far today, and who knows. Big Neil Davis now. This would be a moment for his many, many fans across the whole of Europe if he could do something.
Scramble to 1. I think there was some chat in the European cricket stuff where I think someone had got into the comments discussing Neil Davies' trampolining career. Not too sure how much of that is actually true, but yeah, the boys got around him. His Cornsey slashes that one.
Yeah, but he's not going to beat Robbie Forrest on the sweep out and the offside.
I think they've got a little bit of a mountain to climb here as that rate creeps back up to just over 12s.
Yeah, but at
definitely
this
need a
stage of the game,
boundary.
you don't need to worry about the rate, do you? Really, it's the actual number of runs. So, but you know, it's still 18, so same thing, I suppose. And that's
it.
good bowling. Lucky Singh's kept that right up in the block hole, and all Neil can do is to drop it down for a single. Corn's going to definitely favour the offside. He's not a leg side player. He's going to be looking to slash this towards extra cover, or maybe get it in the slice position behind square on the offside. I think I can't see
Get
him.
one over extra cover. It's
Yeah,
quite short out
he
there.
might just about manage to do that.
Oh, it's in the
he's
air. It's going to be
tried.
safe
Gonna be
though.
safe. Oh.
I think our win viz is swinging back in your favour here, Wardy J, to sort
Well,
of 20%.
it's not my favourite. It's just I was trying to be optimistic towards Chirpies to give them a chance, but they've done much better than I thought they would here, and I think they'll be very, very rightfully proud of their efforts. It's going to be Robbie Forrest to bowl the last over here, and an unlikely 15 needed off it, which not a huge number of runs, but in the context of this game and with the batsmen who are now left out in the middle, I can't see it happening.
Stranger things have happened though. I mean, we've seen it
yeah.
all over this weekend, and I think it's just another credit to Lee Malloy and everyone else who's set up this weekend of the standard of cricket that's been going on. I mean, you might see another 300, well, definitely another 300 plus runs scored on
According to the
game one.
scoreboard, 166 for 5 with the Duckworth Lewis target showing 156, so slightly to my surprise. Technically, Chirpies are in a strong position, but I don't think they're going to be at the end of this over, which will be the end of the match. But I'd like to be proved wrong. I'd like to see James Corn play a wonderful slam over mid-wicket for 6. Robbie Forrest is in, bowls, tucks up Neil Davis, gets a bit of bat, a bit of body on it. There was a bit of bat, gets a single. 14 off 5 required. For those of you who were eagle ears earlier on, I did threaten to tell the Dave Buxton story, but we'll save that till game 2 when he'll be performing. But it's well worth listening to, that's all I'm going to say. Don't go far from your television sets. Here comes Robbie Forrest, ball 2.
2, has to be 2. Have to
Conce
get
had a
2.
big swing at that and heaved it onto the leg side, but can only get a single. 13 needed off 4 balls. Boundaries are required.
Big time. I think it's going to take a small miracle to
Come
get
on, Neil
Chirp.
Davis, just do it for your European fans.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
Robbie
a big
Duckett's
white.
pushed that so far wide of off stump, trying to protect that dangerous leg side boundary that he's overdone it, and he's conceded a wide. So 12 off 4.
I think if they had that man talking to the captain there, Adam Haywood, with 12 needed off 4, I think they might be in a chance of winning this fixture. But I really do hope for everyone at home and all of Neil Davies' European fans, as you said before, that he clears the ropes out. Just spice
I'm not
this
sure
game
it's
up.
that likely to happen. But, oh dear.
He spoons one
He's
up
just
to cover.
spooned that up to extra cover. Robbie Duckett takes the wicket. Neil Davies has to depart. And we've got the young lad, Luke Bosio, coming in.
I'm very surprised that they've sort of hidden him
Yeah.
at that sort of lower
Yeah.
down the order,
Like
because
to
as
see a
I've
bit
said,
more of him.
he can strike the ball pretty nicely. He sets up real well. He's a lefty as well, so can he get to that short side?
Yeah. If he smashes his first ball over extra cover for 6, Dan, I'm going to buy you a beer.
Jesus. I mean, you could have picked a bit more likely thing to happen than smashing a number 8 batter, smashing the ball over extra cover for 6 to the longest side of the ground. But I'll definitely take you up on that beer if he does end up doing that. What if he sort of swivels on one and hits it over deep square? Do I have to buy you a beer?
Yeah, you got it. That's
Perfect.
correct. Well done.
I thought you might be setting that one up. But yeah, he's
Anyway, what a fine effort by Chirpies here to get this close.
Absolutely, they've done
Really,
this.
really good. I'm proud of them, and tip of the hat. Come on, Luke Bosio, smash him. Oh, it's almost in the slot. Interestingly, he
might cost
decided to
him
have a
that.
look at that one, which is probably not what you want to
Do
do.
we get to see a little replay of that? Does it hug the wide line?
Yes.
Has he got away with one there, Robbie Forrest?
Well,
I'm a bowler, so I'm always going to say that's never a wide, but for the stage of the game, I wouldn't have minded him spreading his arms. Yeah, that's a good finish. It's a good finish from
Well
Robbie
done.
Forrest. That's pretty much going to tie it up unless he puts his foot over the line out. I wouldn't mind him finishing off with the boundary here, Luke Bosio. As he leathers that one through
Oh,
point.
oh, what a good
It's
shot.
a
Well
great
done.
finish.
well done, Luke Bosio. He's not quite earned Dan Birrell that pint of beer. You'll be sad to hear, but he's not done far behind that. He's really got hold of a lovely flashing blade shot through point, beaten the fielder, and it's gone for 4, which makes the score board a very, very healthy 173. And St Juan Springfield get over the line, but just by 7 runs. So really good effort from Chirpies, a good game of cricket, some top performances, some good moments, and I'm sure that the young Chirpies lads will take a lot of heart from that performance today.
Yeah, massively. I think it's credit to all involved. I mean, that man walking off the park there, James Corn, will be incredibly happy with his lads that have put on a serious show there against a very, very tidy SOS that managed to get over the line and into that final that they'll be looking to win in an hour's time. But I think Wardy J, another great game of cricket. 173 plays 180. Hopefully a sign of things to come in this second game with either more runs on the board in the second game with 2 strong lineups coming against each other. But I'm going to head out and do my bits to the wicket, and it's been a pleasure chatting to you, Wardy J.
Yeah, it's been really good fun. Dan, you go and make sure that wicket's doctored absolutely perfectly for the last game of the weekend. But really good effort. Well done, Chirpies, and I think nicely set up for a final, because I think the Farmers' side are going to be strong, and probably it's going to be a more competitive game with St Juan's playing against them. That St Juan's are going to have to do some hard yards here to get over the line again. It's always difficult after a semi-final match. They're going to be a bit tired, but I think we could be set up for a good afternoon if the rain stays off.
Indeed.